It's almost the end of the season. Can you believe it? We've been waiting so long. I remember starting this way back under a different name with a different host. But we are finally, should be, at the end of the regular season of Uniball. Playoffs, they start next week. I'm going to go and watch some, specifically one. You know who you are. We'll talk about you later. But
yeah, my mum's just bought in KFC.
And
Mum. Hey! Jeez. Sorry, mate.
See, Steve celebrated the end of the season with a KFC. But we are here to talk about some scores. There's not too many scores, but there's not a lot of scores, but there is a lot of that classic, delicious, finger-licking good Uniball bollocks. There is so much. Oh, delicious. Oh, if you like bollocks, this is the stream for you. We've got lots. But we're going to start just rattling off the scores because realistically, the scores is the crust on the creme brulee that is Uniball bollocks. We're going to go through it, ladies and gentlemen.
Very well put, Tim. There are a couple of scores to call out. But yeah, go on, mate. Do your rundown.
Oh, sweet delicious.
While I eat.
Sweet delicious. So let's start with the Prem North. The Stirling Klansmen end their season. They've gone to the playoffs, but not particularly well. Stirling Klansmen 0. Durham Saints 31. Durham Saints have got the momentum on their side. I like them a lot. I think they could really mess some things up in the playoffs. The Cardiff Cobras fall to the UE Bullets. Shock, surprise. No points allowed from the Cardiff Cobras. That means UE Bullets have allowed no points all season. Very good. A 58-0. Borders 1. Hull Sharks 0. Newcastle Raiders 14. Northern 1. The Derby Braves 12. Manchester Tyrants 54. Midlands 1. Loughborough 30. Leicester Longhorns 8. My Thing Has Fallen Down. Southampton Stags 12, Bath Killer Bees 0, Southeastern 1, the ARU Rhinos 0, Essex Blades 10, then the Borders 2, the Aberdeen Bulls 34, the UWS Pyros 0, the Heriot Wolverines 23, the Teesside Cougars 0, and that game was called in the second quarter. In the Southwestern 2, the Plymouth Blitz 12, the UE Bullets 2, or the Pellets, whatever you want to say, 12, 8 to the Blitz, Southern 2, Kingston Cougars 0, Winchester Silverbacks have a tasty win. Very nice. Brighton Panthers 6, Oxford Lancers 12, Greenwich Mariners 27, Cambridge Pythons 6, Canterbury Phoenix 0, Kent Falcons 4.
Oxford Lancers got 20, not 12.
Sorry, Oxford Lancers 20, Brighton Panthers 12, Canterbury Phoenix 0, Kent Falcons 14. The amount of walkovers this week, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, too many. But there was a storm. What can you really say? Fair. Actually, it's more fair to the teams that did play. There was a big storm. I thought my car was going to get tipped over. It didn't. Small little box car. Unbelievable. MMU Eagles, walkover victory over Bradford Bears. Kent Falcons, walkover victory over the UEL Phoenix. Actually, no, some of these have become walkovers. Sorry, they're not all from this week. Some of them have become walkovers for games that were voided in the past or postponed in the past. Surrey Stingers give up 2. 1 to the Portsmouth Destroyers, 1 to the Royal Holloway Bears. The Edge Hill Vikings give up 2 to the MMU Eagles and the Liverpool Raptors, but they get 1 back from the Bangor Mud Dogs. Chester Legion, obviously their season, they dropped out. Bless them. They give up 1 to the Huddersfield Hawks. The DMU Lions get a walkover victory over the Huddersfield Hawks. Not going to talk about that one. We've got stuff for that. But that is it. And they've got the cancelled games pending a Bucks decision. York Centurions and the Edinburgh Predators, Edinburgh Napier Knights and the Sunderland Spartans. And there are some unplayed games awaiting a Bucks decision. That is the Kill Crusaders and the Huddersfield Hawks. I'd actually like to see that game, but the game which I want to see the most, which has not happened yet and might not even happen, the Glasgow.
Deadline's gone.
Has it gone? Then that is a damn shame because we did not get to see the Glasgow Uni Tigers versus the Edinburgh Napier Knights. Yeah. And that's it for the scores.
That's the rundown. That's it. We're done.
That's it. My cave.
So yeah, I am. Yeah, so you quite rightly pointed out. The walkovers were high because we were. It looks like Bucks are trying to wrap up a lot of the loose ends. So there were. I don't capture voided games actually. I might start doing that because there were certainly a number of games voided as well. So for those who are not sure about this, and we got quite a lot of people watching, probably I know exactly why. because of what's going to happen now with the playoffs. But yeah, the difference between a void and a walkover or a postponement. So any game that is postponed will always get a result. You can never get a game that is perpetually postponed and just left in the ether. Oh, you can hardly hear me. Sorry, can you guys hear me better now? I kept my mic away from me while I was eating. Cool. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you can hear me better now. So a voided game. So a postponed game will always get a result. It will never stay postponed. Cool. Cheers, Stuart. He's saying it's better now, so everyone knows what we're talking. That I'm not talking nonsense. Any games that are postponed will get a result, and the results are, it could be replayed or it could be played. So, if it doesn't, then there's one of three results. One is an away walkover, one's a home walkover, and then the other one is the game's voided. So obviously the walkovers are the ones that people try to avoid because they get docked points. Voids are the sort of the best way to go, simply because those voids. So the void means you play less games, but it doesn't. There's no impact on the season. It's sort of like struck off. So there's no blemish on anyone's record. I have seen actually in some comments this week, but I don't think it's true, is that sometimes there'll be a game marked as a draw. I don't know that that's true. I don't think I've ever even seen it or heard of it. So if anyone knows more, then that would be cool. But yeah.
But Steve, before we start getting on something else, let's just say people watching, Steve has said that he will. Little Steve surprise. He's going to be giving out some of the Div 2 playoff pitches that are not currently up. So keep watching. Find out where you're going. Do you need to book a bus?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll run down. We'll do the rundown of yeah. I'm trying to see how many times I can say it. Of the playoff pictures. So where everyone ended up ranking in their leagues, some of those are pending still, so we'll talk about where those are, and then how that feeds through to the seeding of the playoffs and how the logic of that works, because there's a lot of different views of it, and I've had a lot of people contact me this week. Tebbs has had the same about certain parts of the articles we've put out and what we've said. And I'll just get into all of that, and happy to field questions and stuff and talk through it. So what someone I got a lot of time and respect for in American football, in life in general, Coach Steve Rains. He even reached out to me and said, "No, I think you've got it wrong." And we were going back and forth over text, about the different logic set. So I'm still quietly confident, I would say, but it's certainly not a hill that I'd die on. That I've got it right. I suppose that the one thing that we're definitely going to find out is that, who is right and what is the correct way of doing it. But I'm having done this stuff for a few years now. I'm fairly sure that I've got the logic down right, and I don't mind talking through that and explaining it to people. Anyway, so we'll get to that. Let's just jump on this one very quickly, because this one just came through. So this one isn't Uniball. This is for the Senior League. Last season, the Sussex Thunder created a B team. Well, they didn't like calling it a B team, but a second team. And they called them the Sussex Thunderbolts. And they played some fixtures in, that non-competitive season we just had. But then during that season, the Thunder actually withdrew from their league. There was a bit of an exodus on players and coaches, from what I can tell. And Sussex Thunder have just posted, literally within the last hour or so, that the Thunderbolts, so the B team that they created last year, will not be entering the league although they've already made a commitment to it because there are fixtures for it already. Obviously, we don't know. We'll see what happens with those. Do they get voided? Do they get marked walkovers? Do they get replaced? I don't know. We don't know. But yeah, that's sort of some news there. Yeah, like they're called Sussex, but they're Brighton, right? Like Brighton is such a great area for American football. There's so many, it's got such a good catchment area. There's a lot of people there, and there's a good history around that in that area. So hopefully, this is a clever move from them to sort of concentrate down their resources and give it give Div 1 a go next year. So it'd be gutted if they ended up folding as well. How do I think Sussex will do? I think, Ryan, that's a question. I think it's a really tough one to answer anyway, year on year in American football in the UK, because teams can change a lot. If I'm honest, I would say at this point, I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to be looking down rather than, looking up. I don't think they're going to end up near the top of the table. I think they're going to end up near the bottom of it and may even be, in a relegation battle. I think that's where they're going to end up. Ryan, cool. Sorry. Anyway, Tebbs, this other one, James has popped up. He said, "This is about Bucks. So back to back in the room for Uniball. They could do another week. They could do with another week of games. Having games in February in the middle of the storm season is a hard cut and a hard cut-off date leads to count." Yeah, absolutely, James. And I almost posted about this on Gridiron Hub, right? And I almost posted and sort of said, "Do you think this should happen or would happen?" Right? But the amount of head coaches I've had contact me the last few days, just sort of saying, when you say something, everyone sort of rushes to it and gets drawn to it, and I'm having to make loads of phone calls to my team because everyone's contacting me about stuff, and that happened from a few different coaches up and down the leagues. And I just thought, I don't want to be looking, I don't want to create like turmoil or cause any issues. So, but it was something that I did think about. The thing that I think will prevent it is that the crescendo of not just American football, but the entire Bucks sport body is Big Wednesday, and our Div 1 and Prem, for the very first time ever, are going to be played as part of the Big Wednesday events. In 2019, it was actually going to be, the Prem was actually going to be the kickoff event for Big Wednesday. First time it had ever been in there. Massive, obviously, it all got cancelled, but huge step for the sport in Uniball. I can't.
It really is. Sorry,
go on.
No, because it really is one of those weird things that, like, because like playing American football during my entire tenure at university, we never really experienced that whole Big Wednesday vibe. Mm-hmm. Because we're out, we don't care about Wednesday. While I imagine like it must be so strange to like leave American football and then like, oh, it's Wednesday. Like we just don't have that. It's like, so yeah, and it's more. It's more so I don't obviously, like, I know it's sort of NFL and not even college games. We're sort of built on this precedence of Wednesday, which is mainly, I imagine, to do with referees more than anything else.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's funny because the culture of university. So I used to work in a really popular nightclub in Portsmouth when I was about 18, 19. And Wednesdays was like our student night, because that was the day that all the sports were played. So all of the people go out and play sports, and then it'll go for a big piss up, Wednesday night. So this is a big cultural thing in Uniball in Bucks sports that American football actually doesn't align to.
No, it's very, very strange to even like consider that there's this whole other side of Uniball, of university sport, which is built around Wednesday. Obviously, like we still went out on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like, but it was never like, it was never about, oh, we just played this. It was like, no, like sometimes we'd have training on a Wednesday, go and have a shower and go out. And that was like the closest we got to sport. But then I can very much relate to that in terms of playing a varsity game, playing a game, and then going out. It's a great feeling, but it's so alien to me to play on a Wednesday. But there's the culture is much larger to play on a Wednesday than it is to play on a Sunday.
Massive.
Which you're
missing out on all the women. That's the big thing.
No, we still go out.
So quite rightly, Stuart's pointed out, and a couple of people have in the comments, and that's why I said, I don't know if anyone caught it, I said the big Wednesday events, because I know it spreads over a couple of days, and it does kick off on a Tuesday night, and that was where, and it looks like Grant is confirmed that that's actually going to be the kickoff again for Big Wednesday. So the Prem final will be the big Tuesday night, the Tuesday night kickoff for the Big Wednesday, which is amazing, and it looks like it's being held in Nottingham. So cheers for confirming.
It is being held in It has been held in Nottingham, and there has been a conversation about going. Whether or not I do, who knows? Probably.
Yeah, I need to see. I mean,
let's be honest. I probably will.
Baby, this is like a day old.
Yeah, it's true. I probably will do, because as the people watching this know, I've got literally nothing better to do with my life. Speaking of having nothing better to do in my life, my favourite time of the week, Bafra, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what's strange? Ladies and gentlemen? It seems to be in the last week of the regular season. I'm going to put brackets around that. Well, I mean, it is. If people want to play games, that's up to them. Lots of people have been ejected, and lots of people have been they're suspended for their next game. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you reckon there's a correlation with this? With people playing their last ever games in Uniball, they're not going to go and play senior. They're just like, fuck it, I'm going to.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially, like, not so much in terms of like fighting, but in terms of taunting. If it's your last game, So we got Swansea Titans, 54, taunting. He taunted towards the opponent's sideline and then taunting an opponent. Not much special there. Staffordshire Stallions, number 50, what are you doing? After the play was over, he was seen throwing multiple punches at an opposition player. Obviously, we don't know the whole story, but he's got a helmet on. I never understand about American football. He's got a helmet on. So, why? Sheffield Hallam.
See, people always say that, right? Sorry to stop you on that bit. People always say, "Oh yeah, you always see people punching people with their helmet on." Have you ever done that? Have you had a fight with someone punching them with a helmet on?
No.
I have.
What do you mean?
Like, I've had just because it's like a natural thing to just.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you that's why. You don't like
do it thinking I'm going to take him. No. Like this is going to be a killer blow. But admittedly when I did it, the guy dropped, so that was really good. And our quarterback, there was a case of mistaken identity, and our quarterback got sent off for it. So anyway,
that is a good story.
Yeah, it's a good story. Yeah, it was funny. It was in Cornwall.
Sheffield Hallam 76. There was a scrum. He was forcibly shoving an opponent, and then he shouted a loud obscenity at an opponent, and that was enough to get him kicked off the 2 there. Oxford Brooks. Rob Smith, get your boys in order. Unsportsmanlike contact towards taunting, and then he was received a second one for slapping an opponent. And then DMU. Player was seen headbutting an opposition player. I mean, it's better than punching someone, I guess, but that's it. All of those people there, they can't play their next game. They can't play even if it's senior ball or not. In terms of the there's not too many little fun ones. Not the Gloucestershire Gladiator levels. I can't hear you, Steve.
Sorry, I went on mute. I was going to say we got 60 people watching. Everyone knows. Everyone's here for one thing, aren't they? Look at the comments are going nuts about it. It's the big controversy this week, wasn't it?
Yes.
That you were dealing with.
But we got a show to do, so bear with. So we're going to start with one of the big controversies. There's not much on the Gloucestershire Gladiator scales of, happiness and friendliness towards referees, but LJMU Fury and Derby Braves. Now. So basically, what I can gather is, this is what I can gather. This is I'll let Steve do it because Steve's eating.
No, well, I only know what's written on there, right? I didn't know anything more. I just knew. So on most game days, teams will just keep us updated with stuff. Just message the page. Oh, this has happened. Scores or delays or cancellations and stuff. It's not everyone, but I would say a lot of teams do. So the Braves were contacting us saying, "Oh, this, like letting us know all this stuff," but we didn't know the end of it until this came out, and it's caused quite a stir, even on our social media. Like, I posted it, I don't know, a couple of hours ago. It's got about 250 likes on Instagram and about 140 on Facebook, which is quite good for a text post. But so shall I just read it, because then we get the accurate interpretation, right? So I'll read it, and then you can tell us what you think, Tebbs. Yeah. This is what we're getting at, Tom. You know it, mate. So, this is obviously from a referee's perspective. Let me just pull it over here so that I'm looking sort of at the screen. So this is a referee's statement. It's one of the largest statements I've seen, and it's hilarious. Right, so, and not intentionally so. So upon arriving at the venue, approximately 100 minutes before kickoff. That's an hour and a half to the rest of us. But, you just say it, wouldn't you? It was about an hour and a half before kickoff. Anyway, the officials were informed that the home team's student union had failed to confirm the pitch booking with the venue. So that's the first bit. Fortunately, the pitch was available from 15 minutes before the scheduled kickoff for the remainder of the day. So the venue agreed to host the game. Fantastic. They advised the officials and the teams that there were other areas where the teams could warm up. However, as they were unaware of the booking, they had not remarked the pitch in the days preceding the game. As a consequence, the markings would require going over before the game could kick off. The ground staff advised that it's so particular, this, but I'll read it all out. The ground staff advised that the remarking of the pitch would take approximately 30 minutes, and they recommended 30 minutes to allow the markings to dry, which meant kicking off 45 minutes later than scheduled. I don't really want to stop, but I don't see how that 30 minutes and 30 minutes doesn't delay it, right? Like by an hour, because the 30 minutes starts as soon as you lay the first lick of paint. So surely 35 minutes later, it's all good. But oh no, it would be an hour, wouldn't it? Because the last bit takes 30 minutes. Sorry, ignore that. We'll cut it. Right. The teams were advised that if time was a limiting factor, the quarters could be shortened. However, the officials were informed that the visiting team transport didn't have to depart the game until 4.5 hours after the scheduled kickoff time. That's the bit I don't understand. But anyway, concerns were raised that the paint would not dry in time. Therefore, a test line was drawn away from the field. This dried within 20 minutes of the officials, and the officials deemed if the pitch was remarked over the existing markings, then the game could go ahead. Right, so all of that played out. The groundsman agreed and stated he would remark the field as soon as the association football, normal football, game using the pitch ended. When the football game ended, the visiting team... This is it. This is a killer. There'd been a lot to get us to this point. When that football game ended, the visiting team, this is the Braves, informed the officials that they would not play the game as they were concerned that the paint used to mark the pitch might stain their kit. With the visiting team unwilling to play, the game was cancelled without further delay as per whatever rule it was, and that's the officials. Go on, I'll let you talk about it. But
so delicious. Give me more. Honestly, I love this sort of stuff. I mean, it's...
Well, sorry, do you know what actually? Do we know the outcome of this was that the Fury were given a walkover win. which I think is justice. Like,
oh yeah,
I'll tell you what I think in a minute, but you say your bit first. But I've got my own little opinions on this.
Because obviously, like, you know, is it bad that the student union had failed to secure the pitch? Of course it was, but you know, I feel like the LGMU Fury, they went above and beyond in terms of no, they didn't go above and beyond. They did exactly what they could do. They did everything that was plausible for them to do, and they did it. So now Derby, what I don't understand is, so they painted the pitch, and they were going to go and paint the pitch again, and then that's when Derby went, actually, you know what? I don't like the look of this. You know, that's what I don't get. Yeah, that's what I really don't get about it. Is like if you were worried it was going to stain your kit, you'd be worried on the first painting before the second. So that's my views on it. You know, LGMU, they got a walkover win. There you go. That's it. That's the end of the story. That's some Uniball bollocks with a nice swift ending.
And now Derby have been relegated to Div 2, right? I'm not sure. We'll have a look at all the leagues in a bit, Grant.
That's coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
That blows my mind. It blows my mind if that's the case, but I can, you know, see it happening. You know, like that you know, they were a Prem team for so long. And now they could be facing Div 2.
What's worse, ladies and gentlemen? Is it Derby Braves refusing to play? Or is it Winchester Silverbacks not booking a coach? That is the...
their coach... was it... Well, so that was another storyline I just wanted to mention, and a shout out from the results this week. Winchester Silverbacks won their first ever game, which I was like, yeah. That one got me right there because I just like the Silverbacks. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. We did a live stream and they were really active on one of them because we were chatting to one of their players once, and they just seemed like a good lot. So really pleased for them. So well done. But
speaking of that, we'll go into another good lot just quickly. I'm sure there's probably one watching. Okay, Portsmouth, you've proved me wrong. Okay, I know that I was wrong months ago. I've grown as a person. I'm a better man now than I was then. So yes, I will be getting in my little car and I will be coming to wherever it is that you are playing. You know, it seems to be, according to the statistics, that it very well could be Royal Holloway. So I will see you there on Sunday. Congratulations, you've made a fool out of me. What can I say? But I'm a man of my word. I will come down.
I'll be at Royal Holloway anyway this Sunday. Well, as long as like everything's working from a family perspective. I'll probably have to have one or two of my kids with me, but I'll just give him like iPads and just sit him down in a chair, and I might just leave him in the car.
see if they've got any of those delivery robots that go and cheer him up.
Mate, my little lad loved that. He still talks
that was
about,
so much.
He still
to be fair,
it.
To be fair, that was madness. I know, completely off topic. Milton Keynes has got a food delivery robots.
Food delivery robot. My boy loved it when we went there.
Can't believe that.
But yeah, sorry. So my view on this LJMU Fury Braves thing. Because you can't tell me that the real reason that they pulled out that game was paint. That was the reason given. There's no way that's the real reason. There's no way that a team full of American football players and coaches were like, this is going to ruin our paint. This paint's going to ruin our jerseys. No one gives a fuck about that, right? Like so I'm not having that. And I think most people are aligned to that thinking, right? Like there's an underlying reason. And what I think was they were pissed off. You know, there was like they turned up, and then as everything I read out that transpired, and in the end, I think they gave a reason and thought that would give them a walkover win, and it backfired. That's what I think's happened. I mean,
it makes sense. There was enough sort of
and then there was a paint thing, and you know, And I think they were like, right, if we just say, the paint's going to ruin our jerseys. Whoever came that's a genius. But
for the lack of a better term, like that is some Uniball bollocks right there. They tried, it did not work, but I do think that is probably the reason. I really do think that is likely because there was enough bollocks from both sides, but it just seems like LGMU Fury. They've got the bigger bollocks. And that's what's going on here. That's what's happened here.
Loads of comments coming up. But yeah.
Hashtag no paint on the jersey. Unbelievable stuff.
Unbelievable. But like I don't know, like because like if that was me and my team, I'd be like, well, we ain't getting paint on our jerseys. You ain't putting us on the floor. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that. Like, I don't see why. Like, imagine your teammate, any teammate, just turn around saying, "This is going to ruin the jerseys," or your coach. Imagine a coach saying to you, "Guys, I know we come all this way. I know we only get 5-6 games this season or whatever it is, but you know, there's a spanner about to be thrown into these works." Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this might stain your tops. You know, like you'd be like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like I've paid you to play. I'm going to play.
Yeah,
but
especially because
anyway,
like obviously like, they got there as well. Like it's ridiculous. So
like that was the other thing. Anyway, yeah, there's so much wrong with it.
So in terms of some more Uniball nonsense, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the breaking news. The breaking news of the weekend, the top news of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one story. There's only one thing to do with the story, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Lincoln Colonials are no longer Div 1. That's it. End of the story.
Oh,
no,
yeah, that was
no.
painful.
No. Yes, Lincoln Colonials are no longer Div 1. DMU conceded walkovers for games that were played prior in the season to Nottingham Green and Staffordshire Stallions. That has now bumped up the rankings. Lincoln are no longer Div 1. Big shame about that. Yeah, when I found out the reasoning and everything, obviously I wasn't particularly happy. I've played at Lincoln. I've got friends who play at Lincoln, and I was there when some of them found out that.
Last week, you would have told me you were a Lincoln player. That's how excited you were.
Yeah, but I was there when they found out that they'd been promoted. Obviously, first time in history. No longer the case for Lincoln. DMU played an ineligible player, and then with things that we have been sent graciously, we have found out that there are some, spanners in the works in terms of who knew and how the player went about registering to play using an alumni email as opposed to a regular student email. There's
a lot to unpack here, right? A lot. Because I remember thinking, like, as this stuff started coming through, I remember thinking this is gonna stitch up Lincoln. And then and I thought, oh no, like obviously I know how close you are to them, and you're Mr. Lincoln, you're really excited and all this sort of stuff. So I was like,
that is what they call me. They call me Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah, Mr. Lincoln. Yeah, Abraham.
Yeah, that's it.
And so like this story was, I suppose, a little bit closer to home than just the scandal and the nonsense that was going on. I was like, oh fuck, man, like that's a kick in the teeth. And so and then so we broke the story of like these two forfeits have happened, a walkover story have happened because there was an ineligible player played. And I can't even remember where we got that information from, but someone sent it to us. And then like people, because when we posted it, people then started slagging off DMU. And there are some solid, good-hearted people at DMU.
Yeah, honestly, I
took umbrage to that, and then I think it's those. I think it's like the decent people at DMU that sent us this stuff, right? They then sent us chat logs and like chat logs from DMU chat, screenshots from a DMU group on Facebook. Yeah, go on.
It's like when I first heard this story, I was livid, because like I knew what would occur. Now, one thing I want to clear up: in the first article, we said we didn't know if the Lincoln game had been turned over due to the ineligible player or due to the safety concerns regarding referees. We can say now that it was due to the ineligible player. So, yeah. But when I first heard the story, I was not very happy. But obviously, like it's I can't have any ill will towards Staffordshire or Nottingham. They played with an ineligible player on the field. There's nothing that can be done about that. That's not their fault. But when I watched that DMU game, there were great players on that team, especially on the defense, who wasn't even that particular player. Obviously, I can't pick out that particular player in my head from when I was watching it. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention for it. There were great players on that team, and it's just a shame to see a team that has so much potential and are so they were very good. Their defense was good. Their offense was it was getting started. Obviously, I was more happy to see Lincoln doing things, but they had the tools, and it's just a shame to see what is now a season that's probably going to end up with 1 and 2 and 5, I think now. 2 and 5 afterwards, because they have a walkover against Huddersfield, and they beat Kiel after the Lincoln game. So yeah, it's a shame. I think that they deserve better. But it's simply just a real shame, because we can talk about it being uni bollocks until we're blue in the face. But what this realistically is sad. It's sad because it's like this. British American football is already hard enough to sort of get past people without things like this happening. And then things like this happen, and a sport that's already, as far as I'm concerned, relatively low on value, getting devalued even further. It's just not something we need. And yeah, honestly, I've gone through a myriad of emotions regarding it, and now it's sort of dampened me, is what it's done. Yeah, it's a real shame. I've got no idea what's coming forth for DMU going forward. What is going to happen regarding anything?
So there's a few issues with it, right? So one is the fact that from the messages that we've seen, and it's a snapshot, right? But a hell of a snapshot, because it was 20 odd screenshots. But from what we've seen, there were very few people at DMU that knew about this, and so it looked like the player, a committee member or two, and the head coach. So this caught out everyone else as well. And it was so that's one thing, is that the head coach now, how can he stay head coach there? He's lost the change at the dressing room, as they say in football, right? I can't imagine people are going to want to play for him, and there may even be some sort of mutiny or some action against him where the guys are sort of saying, look, we can't play for this guy. So that's sort of one thing, but it could, I think actually, if that doesn't happen, if that coaching staff and those that were aware don't get kicked out and punished for whatever level is necessary, that may even fold the team. I think if nothing happens punitively, then teams next year are going to refuse to play them, and that is simply. Do you think?
Yeah.
Why?
I do think, because
it don't matter. It's a guaranteed win.
Can you do me a favour? Rob Smith just commented there. It's the only team that's been punished here is Lincoln. That's not. That's not true, in the sense of Lincoln have just been. They had their walkover against DMU. It's not fair that Staffordshire and Nottingham played against them. Has it changed the rankings? Yes, it has. Has it not gone in Lincoln's favour? Unfortunately not. But to say that the only team punished here was no, Staffordshire and Nottingham have a right to that walkover as much as Lincoln do. It's not Lincoln isn't the only team here. It's just the way that the chips have fallen for Lincoln. Is it exceptionally sad? Yes. Am I very unhappy about it? I'm very, very unhappy about it. But to say that Staffordshire and Nottingham don't deserve the same treatment that Lincoln did, as far as I'm concerned, that's nonsense, Rob. And I love you, but that is nonsense.
So it's interesting because I wanted to focus on the first part of what he said here. Like, so I think it also raises questions as how is it actually possible that it wasn't called out sooner? Although, you know, if there are people involved that are trying to cover it up, then fine. You know, like apparently, so that this guy was saying in the screenshots that we saw, we were told by the sport department. Those are the words that he was using. The sport department said it was okay. And since I've been messaged like from guys from DMU saying no, the sports department told them do not play that player, and they still played him. So like there's there's still a lot of nonsense going around about it. Bread has popped up here and said I think it could come down to a Bucks disciplinary board with punishments range from a written warning to ban from Bucks. I think the investigation behind that and then the outcome of it, that all needs to play out. So at the moment, I'm not saying it's hearsay, but there's a lot being said, and really, it's we need to let that process play out, and then we can talk about the outcome, the disciplinary outcome. But from where I am now, if there are people that were complicit, and there were people that were complicit with this decision, without exception, they should be punished. And I'm quite strict on this stuff, and I know people aren't. They tend to not be. We tend to sort of give people a year ban and let them back in. I just think get them out of the sport. You know, like they're just not worth it. They're going to do stuff again, and that's we've seen that time and time again with other people that have received bans from the sport, and then they mess up over and over again. One very common one was a bloke that ended up assaulting a ref, right? So like, I think that Britball as a whole, so including Uniball and every other version of the sport at all levels, it's a lovely community. You know, most people in this sport are decent and care about it, and and want the right thing. And I just think, you're going to get some bad eggs, and unfortunately, stuff like this happens. But then, just need I just think that stronger action needs to be should be taken against it. Rob says fair play. I don't know about that.
I think I seem
all right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm actually fine. But yeah,
I think he means me about Lincoln. All right, I've had time to process. I've had time to process it, unfortunately. But I think there's the administrative bit, but then again, that we don't really know the full story. But you'd think it wouldn't be possible. There's the moving forward from it, DMU moving forward from it. The fact that their current season, from their perspective, it looked like a few of them said that this was the best squad we've had in ages, and we're playing really good football. And for that to just be trashed, and then the guy, like I saw obviously, of course I saw them, I read them, and I edited them. The comments he was making about, at least trying to sort of put a spin at we stitched up, or I stitched up Lincoln like it was some master plan, and they just all called him out. Like he doesn't seem remorseful at all about it. He's trying to sort of argue points rather than hands up saying, I fucked up. He was trying to put some sort of spin on it, and good, good for the DMU guys calling him out on it, and sharing that. But the interesting thing, and I thought this at the time, and I wanted to come back to this, but Grant posted, I imagine this is a wider spread than this example. I think so too. And I think we might see some more cases be put forward, maybe not as publicly as this one, right? This was very public. But certainly, people using the various channels, it's quite easy to report an incident to Bucks actually on their website. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first of a couple of cases, Grant, that happened. Well,
Brad said there also can be punishment to individuals from Bucks, not just teams. Yeah, cool. So we'll see how it plays out. It's crazy, and it's really disappointing. And like I said, feel gutted for Lincoln. Although, another way of looking at that is that it is justice for Staffordshire, right? Like Staffordshire are the team that If I'm
Yeah, but
not mistaken, are they the ones that
yeah,
gone first?
I believe so. Yeah, like it's
Like-
simply one of those things where, like, as Rob today, like, as much as like it's I could stand here and like be like, oh, Lincoln got screwed out of it, but yeah, like Lincoln, Staffordshire and Nottingham deserved the walkover the same way Lincoln did.
Yeah,
That's just how it's happened.
yeah,
And it's not my fault. I'm not gonna say sorry because it's not my fault. But it's sad, and like I would tend to go up to Lincoln next week. So whether or not they watch this and then beat the shit out of me for not putting forward the case a bit forward, but I don't think it's just sad. It's simply just sad. There you go. That as far as I'm concerned, that's how I feel about it. And I'm sure, and I can't imagine. Well, obviously, I was in contact with some of the Lincoln guys when the scores were turned over, and I can't imagine being there with them, let alone just getting the messages regarding that they had the Div 1 was taken away from them in just a snap of some fingers. But again, they got
Thanos.
They did. The Div 1 chances got Thanos, and it's simply it's simply Staffordshire deserve it as much as Lincoln. There you go.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It's sad. There you go. That's the end of
it. My good friend Mike Ireland has said I look awake, and he's impressed because I must have some strong coffee. For those of you that don't know, my missus gave birth yesterday morning at 3 a.m. To my little boy, third boy called Jude. So yeah, that's what that's about. The reason I bring that up is more so to get Mike's name on screen because I do want to talk. I did want to also mention game that happened this weekend in Ireland.
God, you are a professional, aren't you? That cheeky little segue.
Yeah, I can segue anything, mate. In Ireland this weekend, and there was a game I was supposed to play in, but because my son was being born, I couldn't, which I'm gutted about. But the Sealand Seahawks, so the Principality of Sealand, which I am a Duke of, played their first international game. So this is something Mike Ireland has orchestrated in his Mike Ireland way, where he just pulls everyone together and gets them fighting for the same sort of cause. And in his, we had him on last week, and I said a lot of praise from them. I think I always will. He just got a great manner about him. People love the way that he approach. I certainly do love the way that he approaches life in general, but certainly, organising and bringing people together for American football. Sealand Seahawks is like I suppose a more serious spin-off of the charity stuff that he does and the other games that he does. So it's a real international team because the Sealand it's a micronation, so it's a micronational team. And Sealand have got a football team. I think they've got a hockey team as well. They've had a few famous people playing for their football team. That Ralph Little did of 2 pints and a packet of crisps fame. So yeah, like there's a lot of like interesting information about Sealand. It's just off the coast of Suffolk. It's essentially a fort that it was used to be in international waters, so was taken over and then given its own royal family. And that's that sort of Mike came up with this idea. He contacted them and made an international team. They played their first game against the South Dublin Panthers on Saturday, and they won 42-13. So I'm well pleased. I've got my kit. I've got my kit over there. I can't wait to get stuck in and playing for them. But yeah, shout out to the Seahawks. And looking forward to whatever else there is to come with it. I know there's more games. And and the Seahawks one. Is that you saying that? Yeah, it is. There's more games to come and more things, more bigger things to come from Mike and the different things that he runs. So cool.
As far as I'm
James
concerned,
keeps
Steve,
saying about Winchester. James, you missed it, mate. We already talked about Winchester, mate.
Yeah, we spoke
We already
about
patted
Winchester.
you on
Don't
the
worry.
back. Sorry, go on, Tebbs.
I was going to say, I think
I think there's only one thing left to really discuss. And that's the playoffs. That's the playoffs.
Well, there is.
Am I back?
Yeah, did you drop off? I think there's a delay on you, mate. You might want to drop out and come back
Playoffs was the answer to the question. Talk about playoffs.
in. Tebbs, why don't you drop off and come back in? Sorry, guys, there's a bit of a delay between me and Tebbs. It's typically how you can see it's like he's calling from like an old Amstrad phone. Let me remove him and then he can come back in. Mikey said the fort was protected for you, Steve. Those peddlers were a bit hard, yeah. Right, so while we're waiting for Tebbs to come back in, which I think he's just coming back in, and before we get into the juicy playoffs, one thing I did want to share with you. So I've been going on about this for a long time. For those of you that may listen to my ramblings, that Gridiron Hub's getting rebranded and renamed, and loads of stuff happening with it. The website's in test phase now, so it's sort of up and running, but it's like on a slower development server. And I just wanted to quickly show you guys it, so you get a little sneak peek of what our new website's going to look like. Hopefully, because I've got to do the testing this week. Me having my kid has like ruined everything. I was hoping to get it all done over the weekend, but I've still got to do some more testing on it. But I'm hoping that we'll get it up and running and get it out by the end of this week. But yeah, let me just show you it. So our new name's Sport Tank. And I think people may have picked up on that on our social media, and it's roughly got the same sort of layout as the current site. So you're down the middle here is like your feed. We've got raffles on the left, but what we've done is revamped the scores. So the scores now, well, they already do include everything, but you can actually go back through years. You can look at Uniball, Britball, and NFL. We're going to add some more to that. But let's click on Britball. You can actually click on Britball, change the year to, I don't know, 2004, and it will jump to whatever week. There you go. Well, that's week 26, it's saying, and show you the scores for that. So you can see score like a history of scores if you want, but obviously the latest. And then you can also see the leagues as well. So let me go to Uniball this year. You can see all of the leagues and how they ended up, and you can just sort of scroll through just on this homepage. It does have its own page as well. But just quite a nice interface. It looks decent on a website, on a phone as well. Another thing we've done, and this will be sort of added to, is we've upgraded the profile page. So we did have a profile page before. We got one now, but not really used. So this is my profile page, and you can add like your achievements that you've had as a footballer or a coach, and you can also add your experience, so who you played for and when and what position. And it's not there, but we want to have like the ability to add pictures and video and stuff. But yeah, there's loads more to talk about it, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick sneak peek of it. Hopefully, yeah, people will like it, and you guys will find the experience a lot better than the current Gridiron Hub one. But Gridiron Hub won't exist; it will be called Sport Tank. Cool. Right, let me bring Tebbs back in. Let's see how he's doing. Hello.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff.
So yeah, you like the website, don't you? You were a fan.
I do like the website. When I realised that you could scroll down and see the different years of Uniball, delicious, unbelievable,
yeah,
sensational.
Yeah. So we're working on some other bits, like having it, because there's not a game page. So you click into a game and then it shows you stats and rosters and scoring, box scoring, and any details of any game, pictures and everything. That will be good, because then it will be like a proper archive of any game ever in the sport. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. There'll be like a point where we sort of say to everyone, like, yeah, send in your stuff, like go on the website and upload it, and we'll approve it and then get it on. So old pictures, old newspaper clippings, old game reports, programs, all that sort of stuff can all be scanned and put on there. Anyway, now should we talk about playoffs, Tebbs? Oh, there's a delay again.
Is there? think I'm just being slow. Don't worry about it.
No, there's a delay.
I'll rejoin. God forbid. God forbid we have a good rundown, ladies and gentlemen. God forbid.
Right. So let me share my screen again, and I'll bring up the. We'll go for the playoff stuff, and hopefully you guys can see it. I'll zoom in on it just to make it a little bit easier. So what I did was went through, and the one I haven't done yet is Div 2 for Div 2 South for Uniball. But I'll do that one live. So the Prem's easy. The Prem's easy because all games have been played. For both North and South. The 5th place gets relegated. The other 4 are in are the numbered seeds for North and South, and then they go into a playoff bracket. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. They go into this playoff bracket, and so you can see they play a quarterfinal, a semi-final, and then a final. And the final is on the 23rd, which is obviously the start of Big Wednesday. So actually, there's probably the 22nd then, isn't it? Of March. Yeah, it says 23rd, but I think it's the Tuesday evening before, so the 22nd. All those dates are subject to change anyway. So yeah. So this coming weekend is the first lot of games for the playoffs. Bucks haven't confirmed any yet. I was hoping they were going to do today, but they got a lot to sort out, right? Like pending games to void off or walk over or whatever, and then get all the figure out all the mini leagues and all that sort of stuff. So if I looked at, like, it was taking me to do like Div 1, Div 2 North and Div 2 South. It was taking me like 3 to 4 hours for each of them to work it all out, and I was doing write-ups and everything. So yeah, this stuff isn't that straightforward. At the Prem level it is, but as you get down into like the other levels where it's like mini leagues, it's mini leagues that are a pain, but but I understand them. It's just a nightmare to work out. Anyway, so let's look at the quarterfinals. UE Bullets as the South 1 seed take on Sterling Klansmen as the North 4. We've got Leeds Beckett as North 2 taking on Cardiff Cobras as the South 3. Nottingham Gold as North 1 taking on the Pirates as South 4. Birmingham Lions as South 2 taking on Durham Saints as North 3. I think there's some good matchups there, but I think
I love some of those. So, I love them.
Right, let me give you my little rundown of them, because this is sure. I said it again, didn't I? Sterling for me are always this like, oh, we just sort of plod along until we get into the playoffs, and then we'll show you how we play, right? And they always do really well in the playoffs. I think the Bullets are going to roll them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the Cardiff Cobras. I don't think that they can. They'll get the better of Leeds Beckett. I think Leeds Beckett are going to win that one.
No, I completely agree.
Gold Pirates, I think gold all the way.
Yeah, but then that last game.
This is the one that's competitive for me.
That last game at the bottom is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
So stick your neck out here. Who do you think is going to take the W? Then?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's a tough one, isn't it, man? Like,
do you know what? And I do love you, Durham. I really do. I think your run's been great. But I think that the Lions they need to have a fire underneath them after playing second fiddle to the Bullets the whole season. And I think that the Lions are going to. I think I said it in one of my past rankings. I think the Lions are going to come to the playoffs with a chip on their shoulder and show everyone why they should not be considered the second place team. Yeah,
but you could say the same for Nottingham Gold, right? Like that, they're not going to like it too much. I actually think the opposite to you. I'm gonna just for content, but also I think, as along with Jamie Seal here, I think they're flying high. I think the Saints are going to take the Lions. And again, I don't mean that. I know people get bent out of shape when I make a prediction, right? I don't mean that if you're a Birmingham Lion, you're crap at the sport and you should give up. I don't think that that you're a bad person on the inside. I don't want you to get run over by a car. I just mean that I think the Saints could edge the I think they'll win this game. That's all it means. Jamie said their QB is actually legit, underrated AF.
What, Saints or Lions? I imagine he means Saints.
I believe he's the Saints because he's following up from his previous question.
No,
Stu
I think
said
that
Saturday 12 p.m. Come and watch us.
Saturday. Well, no. Do you want to know what? Wait, is it taking place in Birmingham? Someone say that because I do live in Coventry. It's not very far. Stuart, come on.
I don't know. I don't know what team Stuart's associated with because I can't see the picture. If that's a giveaway, but
no. But if someone from Birmingham or Durham wants to give me the details, I'll come and watch it.
I won't.
You won't.
I've got a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 2-day-old.
Well, yeah, but
the only fucking nightmare.
Yeah, but the only reason why I can do it is because I live half an hour from Birmingham, so it's not going to be too much stress from my end. Okay, let me write that down. Bournebrook.
You must know Bournebrook. That's their.
Mate, bro, I've never been to Birmingham, bro. Why would I know? There you go, Bournebrook pitch. Right. Hopefully I'll see you there because that game will be spicy. So yeah, yes, Karen.
It's going to be good. And yeah, I imagine a sound clip of what I've just said. Yeah, thanks, Stuart. So same pictures they use for Explosion. I imagine a sound clip of what I've just said with me thinking that the Saints are going to edge it is going to be played in the in the run up in all the chats in Birmingham Lions. And what you said about Birmingham winning will spur on the Durham Saints. So we've got a nice spread. But
don't make me come to any more playoff games because on Saturday I've now said I'm going to go to Birmingham, and then on Sunday I've got to go to Egham to watch Portsmouth.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll meet you there. Well, that's again, we need to talk about that. Will any of the games be live streamed? So that's a good question, Neil. From what I understand, the Bullets have got an agreement with Cheers Mate to live stream all of their home games, but I think it was home regular season games. I don't know if they stretched their budget to the playoffs, but then I think they might have done I don't know if you've ever watched the Bullets live stream, but they get a lot of the parents and relatives and friends of their American players watching from overseas and cheering them on. So, there's good value to it even internally within the squad. So potentially that game, but we'll obviously post on Gridiron Hub or Sport Tank if it's that by then to let you guys know which games are being live streamed. There we go. Good. So the Nottingham Gold versus the Pirates, that will be live streamed. Cheers for that, Grant. So we'll and they've just recently switched on commentary on their games and fantastic stuff. So definitely worth watching. Hopefully these games won't be played exactly the same time because then we can, watch them separately.
Well, I said Saturday at 12, Bournebrook pitch. Oh, I'll be there. Not doing commentary. Might even get a trade in, have a few tins on the sideline. Unbelievable stuff. Who knows?
Anyway, so that's the Prem. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? Those are our. We're not going to go through predictions for everyone, but I think because we got a full set there, it was worth sort of doing. If you haven't already, £3 for a ticket for this Zenith Shadow raffle. All the money goes to the Amley Fund. All the money in the fund goes to developing football teams in the UK and Ireland. Giving away over 30 grand to date. We want to keep going. That's the only raffle I've got running at the moment, and I look forward to closing that off. So a quick plug there. Right, this is where it gets interesting. What I've done is broken it down. So Div 1's ridiculous because you play the North. I've got their own bracket. The South have got their own bracket, and then they meet in the final, right? So the North consists of 3 leagues: Borders 1, Northern 1, Midlands 1. And there are 8 positions in those 3 leagues up for grabs to go to the playoffs. Those positions are dependent on the rank or the standings where you finish in the league, right? So if you're first if you are one of the teams that are first in those three leagues, then you are going to get either the first, second, or third seeding. If you're second in each of those leagues, or one of the second teams, then your seeding will be fourth, fifth, or sixth because you rank underneath those. And then if you're third, so there are three teams that are third, but there's only two places left. So of the thirds, the worst third team drops out of the playoffs, and then the two remaining get seed 7 and 8. That's how it works for everyone that we're going to go through now, right? So in every single instance of every playoff, 3 leagues, the top 3 teams in those leagues are in contention for the seedings. One of them will drop out. The other 8 will go through. And the logic for that, I've tried to explain, right? So, what doesn't help is that we've got some games that are still not unresolved. So they weren't played, and we don't know if they're going to be voided or a walkover. Although I've had messages while I was putting my kids to bed that one of the games has been resolved now. But anyway, once those games are resolved, we then can see what the picture of the league is, and then we know which teams are going to go through to the seedings to compete against the other 2 teams. And I say compete, they compete on paper based on their performance of the year. They don't play each other to figure out who goes where in the playoffs, right? So hopefully that hasn't lost anyone, but if you've got any questions, then let me know. Let's see what Jamie said. All I can confirm regarding Div 1 playoffs is no matter who wins, Newcastle will be forever the most boring team in Uniball who take themselves too seriously. Okay, cheers, Jamie.
Remember
really
that wasn't
helps.
us that said that. Remember that wasn't us that said that, Newcastle, before.
Yeah.
Watch us get shit
I
for
like
that.
Newcastle, man. They're no nonsense, man. Anyway, so we're starting with Borders 1. So in the Borders 1 league, this is my breakdown of it. There's one fixture left that's outstanding. So there's an unplayed fixture pending a Bucks decision, right? So we don't know that. So Newcastle are locked in place at the top with 16 points. No one can touch them. They've played all their games. They can't get a walkover loss. They're done, right? So they can't lose points is what I mean by that. The only way the Edinburgh Predators don't take the second spot in this league is if their pending game against York is a walkover loss for them, because then they would lose 2 points here, and they would drop below the Northumbria Mustangs. So, and then the other thing that I said is if that happens, we'll then have a mini league, because we've got York on 6 points, Northumbria would be on 6 points, and Edinburgh would be on 6 points. So there'll be 3 teams tied on 6 points, which is just insane. But if that happens, Edinburgh, who were the only team that would have conceded a walkover, would mean they go to 4th place from 2nd place. And they would be out of the playoffs. York would then jump from 5th place, which is the relegation spot at the moment, to 2nd, as they have the head-to-head over Northumbria. Northumbria would stay in 3rd. So yeah, I'm not saying that's likely to happen. I'm just saying that, I just pointed out that we're in that scenario. So we can only secure number 1, 2, and 3. Although Edinburgh are pretty much guaranteed for 2. We can't. It's not confirmed, right? So what I've then said is, so looking at the playoff seeding, so contending for the North seeds 1 to 3. So they'll be part of 1 to 3 is Newcastle on 16 points. Seeds 4 to 6 are between Edinburgh. Oh, sorry, I should have put York in there as well. Are between Edinburgh, York, and Northumbria, and the same for 7 and 8. So there's 3 teams vying for the spots 2 and 3. Then we move on to Northern, and I'm fairly sure it's one of these 2 games that's been now marked as a walkover for Manchester. So Sheffield Hallam have already secured the top spot on 12 points. They can't be displaced. The 3 teams in 2nd through 4th are all involved in 2 pending fixtures. So these 2 fixtures, and I said there's just way too many variables to work it out. So why are unplayed neck? Casper, I said about this sooner. So unplayed games are not just marked as walkovers because of the circumstances around them. So if one team is deemed to be at fault for it, then they can see the walkover. Point in case, LJMU Fury versus the Derby Braves. The Derby Braves took a 1-0 loss rather than that game being voided. A void means the game is struck from record. It never happened. There's no impact on the league. A walkover means a 1-0 win for the team that benefits, and a 2-point deduction for the team that concedes the walkover. So there is a big difference. Hallam locked in place. The other two, and I've been told that Manchester have been given one of these as a walkover. I don't know if it's Sheffield or the Fury. So I'm not going to even speculate any further on that. But it just would mean that regardless, Manchester are in second place. So Sabres versus Manchester is a void on Bucks Play. Cool. Thanks for I knew it was on Bucks Play, but it wasn't on Bucks Play when I did this, so I haven't had chance to update it. So the Sabres, so this is interesting. Oh, it's a void. Okay, so it's not a walkover. So that's a void. That doesn't change anything. It's a voided game. So we're now waiting for the Tyrants versus the Fury to see if that's a void or a walkover. Cool. So because of that, we've got Hallam in first place, and then the other 3 teams vying for second and third. Although that might have changed. No, that's still the case. Cool. Right, then we move to Midland. It's funny, right? This is like the most straightforward one out of all of the ones I've done.
Oh, well, I know, right?
Like when you get into Div 2, it's lawless. Even Div 1 South is tough. So we've got one game left, which is Coventry Uni versus Warwick. The remaining fixture was actually played in week 16 and ended 6-2 to the Wolves. 6-2 to the Jets. However, it's still listed as unplayed on Bucks Play, so I think someone didn't put it in. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what's going on. But I just put this is likely to get voided. A Jets walkover would mean the Jets take the 3rd spot. Any other outcome means that the Wolves take the 3rd spot. So Loughborough locked up the first spot with 14 points, and NTU 2nd spot, which it says there. Okay.
Simple, lovely. So
then you combine all of those 3 leagues, right? So you've got this team came first, this team came second, this team came third. Well, then you've got 3 lots of those. So you've got 9 teams vying for 8 positions. Yeah. So the top spot, the top 3 teams contend for seeds 1 through 3. So Newcastle, Loughborough, and Sheffield, really straightforward because they've got the same number of games, the same number of teams in the league. You go off of league points. Clear winner there. Newcastle, they get the number 1 seed. The Loughborough get 2nd place with 14 points, and Hallam take the 3rd seed. So seed 1 is Newcastle, seed 2 is Loughborough, and seed 3 is Sheffield Hallam. Then we've got the 4 through 6. NTU are definitely in that mix, but then we're waiting to see if it's Edinburgh Predators or Northumbria, or who was the other team?
York.
Sorry, I need to add them. And then Sheffield or Manchester or LJMU, right? So again, too early to call it. And then the same for the 7th and 8th. It's between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. So yeah, that one result changes. It is preventing all of this from being figured out. Cool. This is where it gets really confusing.
There is one. It's just the one with the Kent Falcons, isn't it? That league.
No, well, this one's pretty bad because this is the one that's the most. It's been really contentious, and I'll explain it why. Manchester is a void, meaning as we stand, UM are locked in at 8. No, you still got another result to go. I don't think I need to look at it, but I don't think you're locked in at 8. You may be. Right. Anyway, so then we go. So this is where it gets really confusing. Southwestern 1. So at this level, it's nice and easy because everyone's locked in place. All games are played. So SGS Bride take first with 16 points. Exeter second in the league with 10. And Bristol Barracuda on 8 points. They're tied with the Stags on 8 points. But because so the tiebreaker for these two, first it goes to Walkovers. They're none conceded. And then the head-to-head results for them. The Barracuda got a 43-14 away win over the Stags. So Barracuda take it just on the strength of that win. So that's the only reason why Barracuda got in and Southampton didn't. So that's the ranking there. And then very straightforward, contending for the seed 1 to 3 is SGS Pride, 4 to 6 is Exeter, 7 or 8 is Bristol Barracuda. Really nice and easy there. Then the same for this, so I'll just put all done and dusted for the same reasons. All games played, all points different. Royal Holloway take they'll be contending for seeds 1 to 3. Hertfordshire are contending for seeds 4 to 6 as they came in second, and Portsmouth are contending for seeds 7 and 8.
Well done, guys.
Then we've got again. So then we do have a one that's got. This league has got an unplayed game. However, this unplayed game cannot affect the league. So no matter what the result is, there's no change in anyone, particularly the top 3. So we're good to have conclusions from it. So based on what you can see there, contending for seeds 1 to 3 is Imperial. 4 to 6 is Brunel on 12 points, and 7 and 8 is QMBL on 8 points. So that's that done. Now, it's not as simple as looking at the points as it was with the North. And the reason that this year is an anomaly because of it. Because SGS Pride, so you see here, 5 teams in this in Southeastern, 5 teams in Southern 1. And then there are 6 teams in Southwestern. And the reason there's 6 is because SGS Pride were parachuted into Div 1. So they were added as an extra team. Now, because it doesn't so there's a rule that says that teams have to play the same number of fixtures or have the same number, leagues have the same number of fixtures or the same number of teams. And because of this extra team, it essentially I was going to say ignites. That's not activates. It activates this mini league rule. So instead of just going straight to points are now deemed unfair because in these 8 games, there's no way that this team would have played everyone twice, right? Like they would have in these games. So you played each team twice. That's how you get your 8 games. Well, you can't do that in an 8-game season against 5 other opponents. So that's deemed as unfair. So it could be deemed that you managed to play easier games than we did when you're comparing the leagues. Because of that disparity, it activates what they call the mini league. And that's it for every one of these rankings. So the 1 to 3 bracket, the 4 to 6, and the 7 and 8. Because of that extra team, this year is an anomaly. It normally doesn't happen. Normally there's 5 in each league, and it just goes on points. It can't go on points. League points don't count from this point onwards. Once you've done rankings, when we go into seedings now, because of that difference in team numbers, we go straight to average points conceded. Cool. In Southwest One's 3 games were voided each. Yeah, voids don't count either. It's only walkovers conceded that would make any difference. But even then, that's only a tiebreaker for the league, not for the playoffs. So this is what we do in the plan. These are the mini leagues me writing out. So I've articulated here. As there are 6 teams in Southwestern 1 and only 5 teams in the other 2 leagues, we go to a mini league for all playoff seeding calculations. Seeds 1 to 3. So contending for the South Seas is SGS Pride on 16, Imperial on 14, and Holloway on 12 points. And then this table here shows the workings out of that. So it's based on the average points conceded against the top 3 opponents in your league. So it's not the entire division. It's not head-to-heads. It's the top 3 opponents. It can't. This is the other thing. It can't keep people keep saying about head-to-head in the playoffs. You can't have head-to-head in playoffs because SGS Pride didn't play Holloway and Immortals didn't play SGS, because they're in different leagues. So you have to see how they did against the other best opponents that they played. Right? So that's the logic behind it. That's what the mini league is. So you can see here, SGS Pride played a total of 5 games against their top 3 opponents. And they conceded a total of 6 points, which gives them an average of 2.4 points a game. Can I zoom in a bit? Oh, yeah, sorry. Hopefully that's better, Neil. So let me say that again. So SGS Pride, they played 5 games against their top 3 opponents, who were Exeter, Bristol, and Southampton. They conceded 12 points in those 5 games, giving them an average of 2.4 points per game. 2.4 points conceded per game. Royal Holloway, they played a total of 5 games as well against their top 3 opponents. And again, this is games played. So voids and walkovers do not count. Only games that were played. And this is why Holloway only have 5. Because their Saxons game, I think, was a walkover avoided. Anyway, so the Bears, they played 5 games. They conceded a total of 30 points, giving them an average of 6 points per game. And then Imperial, they played a total of 6 games. So they played each of their top 3 twice. The only team to do so. They conceded a total of 38 points, and their average is 6.3, which is extremely close to 6. But based on that, the Pride, with their 2.4 points conceded against the top 3 average, take the top seed.
What a surprise.
Oh, yeah. Holloway take number 2 with 6 points, and then the Imperial Immortals take C3 with 6.3 average points conceded. So this was what someone messaged me about. They said, how can that happen? Because if you go back up here, the Imperial had 14 points and Holloway had 12 points. When you go into a mini league, the points are gone. They don't matter anymore. It just matters about average points conceded. So that's my logic in working this out. Hopefully that sort of makes sense to everyone, and you can sort of see what I've tried to do there and articulate. But yeah, and I said at the top of the show I'd explain other people that have questioned it. Other people that have questioned it have said essentially this: oh, it only goes off of points. Well, like I've said, it can't go off of points because you might not when there are different numbers of opponents, it could be argued that you had an easier ride than what your opponents did. So it has to go off of the average. So anyway, then going on to seeds 4 and 6. Oh, have I put the same? Oh no, I've put the same screenshot in here. Have I? No, I haven't. Sorry. Seeds 4 to 6. The points say it was 10 for the Demons, 12 for the Burners, and 11 for the Hurricanes. Doesn't matter, but that's what got them to the 2nd place in their leagues. And now there's an even keel, and they go and mini league against each other for the averages. And you can see here, Exeter Demons, they played 5 games against their top 3. They conceded 104 points. So this is where playing against Pride really kicked people in the nuts, right? Because they do
you know what I think? I think they could start calling something better than a mini league. Call it something like the hot seat. You know, we got the wild card of the NFL. It's the hot seat. That's what it is. No more mini league.
You want, mate. But they end up with a huge average of 20.8 points. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, there's no way the others have got anything near that. So Hertfordshire, they played 6 games. They conceded 74 points. Their average was 12.3. Burners played 6 games, 66 points, an average of 11. So based on that, the Burners with the lowest average, 11 points, take the number 4 seed. the Hurricanes take the number 5 seed with 12.3, and the Exeter Demons take number 6 seed with 20.8. Then we've got 7 and 8. So we've got 3 teams again vying for that. So 10 points the Destroyers, 8 points the Vipers.
Here we go, the boys. The boys. The boys. Come on, give me the stats.
So how did they do against the top 3 teams in their respective divisions or leagues? As you can expect, and this is where it really, like I said, you said about Pride, wiped the floor of it. Yeah, it did really well for them, but it really stitched up everyone else in their league because of the average against them. So yeah, Barracuda only played 4 games.
I think considering that also there are 2 teams dropping out of Southwest 1 as well, compounded with the point differentials that SGS Pride. Hey, I'm saying Portsmouth are the boys. Friend, I'm coming down there. Not to Portsmouth.
Your mates now.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good. We're coming. No, so obviously it stitched them up a lot more because obviously 2 people go down, so it's affecting the top and the bottom by injecting another team in there. Again, should SGS Pride be Div 1? Probably.
Yeah,
but
there was no easy solution. I think they did the right thing by not putting them in Div 2.
Yeah, so do I.
I think you could argue that they could have gone into the Prem and had two relegations from the Prem, but then again, everyone kicks off. So yeah, they made them work for it. They're doing a good job.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. So right. Anyway, so on to Portsmouth. They played a total of 6 games against the top 3, conceded 44 points, which is a 7.3 game average. The Vipers, they played a total of 5 games, 71 points, which is a 14.2 average. So still quite a high average there, even, but just not enough. So the Destroyers take the number 7 seed with their very low average. The Vipers with 14.2 take the 8 seed. And Bristol don't even get a look in because they got such a high average at 33.5 points. So I can't. Oh, let me just try and zoom out slightly there. Oh, what's going on? So because there's, we've only got 3 locked in place for Div 1 North. Although someone's argued that number 8 is also locked in place, but I'll check that. It certainly wasn't when I wrote this up. We can't really talk much about it. Newcastle, Loughborough, and Sheffield have got home advantage. Top 3 seeds. We need to wait to find out the rest. However, we've got a full stack in the south.
Very nice.
So the Pride will play the Vipers. Brunel will play the Hurricanes. Holloway will play Portsmouth, which is interesting because they're in the same division. And this was the one that if you did it, so if you worked things out the other way on points, these 2 teams were flipped. So that's why everyone was sort of questioning and going, "Oh, is that right? Is this true?" Because Holloway were preparing to play Exeter, and it now looks like they're going to be playing Portsmouth, by my reckoning, right? Which again, I'm not Bucks, but this is my, I'm pretty confident of this. So they'll play Portsmouth at home, which is why you're saying you'll come to Holloway or go to Holloway, and I'll be there. And then Imperial playing Exeter. So, Tebbs, let's have a rundown here.
Sure, no problem. What's the point? No, I think QMBL will do. I think that I'll put it like this. I think QMBL will get a fair amount of points considering they're going up against SGS Pride, but I think Pride's winning that. I don't.
You think they're going to score points against them?
QMBL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Not a lot of points, but I think points will be scored by QMBL.
Okay, well, I agree. I think Pride are going to win. I can't see QMBL scoring more than 1 touchdown. But
even still, I'll take that.
Okay, you said quite a few.
10. 10 points.
Okay, Burners and Hurricanes, close game. This one.
I think that's going to be a low-scoring game,
and
I think something's just grabbing me. Don't hate on me here, Hertfordshire, but I think I'm going to go with the Burners just to edge them out. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game, very, very defensively minded game, and I think the Burners are going to pull it out.
It's a tough one. I'll go. I'll oppose you just so we've got a foot in each camp. Okay, so the game that we should be attending, the Bears versus Portsmouth. Come on, are you gonna bet against your Portsmouth?
No, I think Portsmouth. I think they're gonna have the world's fattest cheerleader there, and I think that I think Portsmouth are going to they're going to put on a show, and I think Royal Holloway they're going to come out swinging. But I think Portsmouth will take them. I think Portsmouth has got momentum on their side.
It's such a close game.
It really is. It really is.
This was the 0-0 fixture from about 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
That's it. And I think that Portsmouth aren't going to, take a line down. I think that Portsmouth have got momentum. Obviously, I'm biased because I can't. Well, I know that people from Portsmouth are watching, and if I say they're going to get decked, someone's going to throw their real.
It will spur them on.
Yeah, that's true. Is that what you want, Portsmouth? Is that what you want? Is that what you want, Portsmouth? I'll tell you that you're going to lose to spur you on. How about that?
It wasn't 0-0. What was the 0-0 game then? Ayab, I thought that was a 0-0 game.
Was it Holloway, Hertfordshire?
I thought it was Holloway Portsmouth. I don't know what the 0-0 was then. Was it? I was thinking, was it Sussex or Surrey?
It was definitely Royal Holloway.
Okay, cool. Cheers, Jaden.
Bang. That's why.
Thanks,
that's
guys.
why.
Sorry.
That's fucking. That's the boy.
So you're obviously calling Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I'll go Holloway. Do you know what? I'm cool either way with this one. They're two of the Uniball teams that I really like for obvious reasons. But was 7-6. Oh, thanks, Harrison's. Yeah, so I'll stick with mine. You stick with you. So when we go on the game, you'll have to stay on Portsmouth side. I'll stay Holloway side. And then the last game, Imperial versus Exeter. I'm going to call it first. I fancy Exeter.
Thing is, I can understand why you do. Obviously, I think that being in a division, Imperial's got that strange thing of they can absolutely dominate people or they can score very little.
Well, it's the same with QMBL.
Exactly.
And Greenwich Mariners. They just these London these South London teams. They're
very hot cotton. I just think the occasion it won't trample Imperial. I think Imperial are going to understand the severity of the situation and turn on that Brunel burner. No, turn on that flick that switch, put on a performance and go through.
All right, cool. Right, let's get through the Northern. So these ones always go to mini leagues because of
before Div 2, I'm going for a piss.
Cool. I'll just carry on. So these two, because of the difference between as before, difference between number of teams in the leagues, they'll always go to mini leagues pretty much, right? So unplayed fixtures. Tebbs loves talking about these because he really wanted this one to be played. Napier versus Tigers. I think everyone did. It was the game on Friday. Obviously, the weather was unreal. Got called off. And then there's this game was from Sunday. I think it was yesterday. Couldn't get played either. So waiting for outcomes of them. Again, the top two. The two pending fixtures involve the top 3 teams. So we can't provide an overview. I just said it's pointless, so we have to wait. I think the most likely outcomes of the 2 games avoided and the league ends up as it is. So first, second, third. But not going to speculate. And then I've just put those for seeds 1 to 3, all 3 teams. Because do you want to talk about? I don't want to rob you of your opportunity to talk about Napier.
There's nothing to talk about them. They're fantastic. Only 2 teams have scored.
That's what I meant.
Huh?
That's what I meant. You talking about how great they are. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only 2 teams have allowed no points so far. It's the Bullets. And we talk about how great the Bullets are. Then there's the Napier Knights. It's a real damn shame that Glasgow versus Napier seems like it's not going to happen. I think Napier are fantastic.
Why do you keep saying, mate? The deadline's gone. There's no more games.
Because I want to have hope, Steve.
There's no such thing. Well, unless Bucks extend the deadline, and I don't know how they're going to figure that out because they'd have to move Big Wednesday.
Fine, it's not going to happen. All right,
Like, it's just so unlikely. But I can see the argument for it. I just can't see it happening. So Northern 2, all games are played, so everyone's locked in place. Really straightforward. MMU 14 points will be contending for the 1 to 3 seeds in Div 1 South. Liverpool on 12 points are in 4 to 6, contending on to 4 to 6, and UClan Rams on 10 points are contending for the 7 or 8 seeds in Div 1 South. This one's hilarious, and this was one that was like people like all over the place, loads of different predictions on it. Again, I'll sort of stand by what I've said here. I'm fairly certain that I'm right. Stand to be corrected. The playoffs mean anything? Skip them and play the thing which decides which division you're in next year. Well, actually, James, Div 2, the winner of the division wins it. So the playoffs don't mean anything in Div 2. In Div 1, the 2 finalists get promoted, and in the Prem, the winner is the best team in the UK. So yeah,
it's a very strange format. It's a very strange, especially for Div 2. Like let's say a second place team runs the gambit, goes completely runs it.
Are you talking about Lincoln here by any chance?
No. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Lincoln Colonials.
So I know what you mean. It's really tough, but then you know, looking at it from the other angle, right? If you're the one organising this, and you had all of these teams trying to, how would you pick? Because you're playing a playoff where there's one ultimate winner, so you've got 2 finalists. So how do you determine the third team that gets promoted? What if
exactly.
what if that team, what if because obviously it's one from Midlands 2, one from Northern 2, one from Borders 2. What if the Borders 2 finalists got knocked out in the first round? Should they even get to Div 1? So I think it's
a very strange
as possible.
Yeah, it's just sad. Again, killing my hope, killing my dreams.
Yeah. You're just being biased, which is fine.
And I've never stated that I was anything but. So
no, I wouldn't ask you to be. Right, so we've got 3 teams tied on 10 points here, right?
Go on, give them out.
There we go. If Napier goes the distance in post-season and stays in Div 2, I think some questions need asked. Well, they will. Well, it depends. If they don't come top, they're in Div 2 next year. That's it. That's what's happening to Lincoln. That's how it works.
Yeah,
if.
but
Well, it's not that big of an if.
It's not that big of an if. Due to that game,
Yeah, these 2 games. They've got potentially. They're sitting on 4 extra points here, which whacks them on 14 and above Glasgow. So, but I don't know if it's that. I don't know how.
I completely understand what he's saying, though. Yeah, completely understand what he's saying.
Right. So sorry. Where were we? 10-point tie.
We're at Midlands too. We're Staffordshire. Yeah.
This has been the I remember. What do you call it? God's
division.
Yeah. All season he's called it God's division, and it's become the most problematic one. Right at the end of the season as well. Especially with DMU. Ending up on 0 points, just crashing out in ceremonious style. So how do you separate this tie, right?
What you do
it's
is
the same.
Steve. Let me tell you. Let me tell you separate this division. Lincoln go at the top. Forget everything else. No. It's. I'll let you go on to the proper answer.
So it's the same way as described before. So what you do is. Oh no, sorry. No, it's not the same. A slight difference. We're not talking about separating a tie for a playoff. We're talking about separating a tie for a league. there is a difference in how you separate the tie for a playoff and how you separate the tie for a league. They both look at average points conceded. However, the playoff tie looks at average points conceded for the top 3 teams that you play, top 3 opponents that you play. And in the league, it looks at the average points conceded over the entire season and compares them. Contrary to popular belief, it does not take into account head-to-head. Head-to-head is if there's only 2 teams tying. When there's 3 or more teams tying, as we've got here, we go into a mini league and we look at average points conceded, but for the entire season.
Honestly, the questions that I got. Well, it's like, well, okay, well, Lincoln beat Notts, but Staffs beat Lincoln. Okay, but Nottingham beat Staffs.
Yeah. Everyone keeps looking at head-to-heads. It's not head-to-heads. Car Park and Big Scrap, Anchorman stuff. Yeah. Right. So the first thing they look at is conceded walkovers. None of them did. So because if one of them had conceded a walkover, then there would have been 2 left. It would have been a head-to-head. Because none of them, there's still 3 left, and we go to a mini league. That's what I'm saying there, right? Average point conceded. So I just put it. I didn't bother putting the opponent names in because if I put the opponent names in, I'd end up with like a larger table. I wanted to keep the table as simple as possible. So just game 1, game 2, game 3. Interestingly, each team only played 4 games this season because you don't count voids and you don't count walkovers. So this really surprised me. But each team only played 4 games this season. Staffordshire conceded 19 points, Lincoln 35, Nottingham 54. That's actually enough to tell you the winner because they all played the same number of games. But just to go through and tell you what that means per game, Staffordshire 4.75 points. They finish in the 1 to 3 seed place. As you can see, they're 4.75 average points conceded. 8.75 for Lincoln, so they're in second. So Staffordshire, this means that they are promoted. As we've discussed, and then Nottingham Green, they'll compete for 7 and 8 because they got 13 points. So they're not out of it. Nottingham, this isn't the playoff one. This is this league one. So in the league, it finishes Staffordshire at the top, Lincoln, and then Nottingham Green. Okay, everyone cool with that? So with that in mind, because with Borders 2, top 3 still pending. So the top 3 for Borders 2 at the top here, we still don't know because of Napier. We can't do any of the other rankings. That you can't do them. Seedings. You can't seed the playoffs because you don't have an entire league that isn't defined yet. So you can't compare them. You don't know which teams to compare the other 2 to. So that's blank.
So stop asking me about it. There you go. Your answer's clear. We don't know.
I haven't yet done. Yeah, it's really clear. Yeah, I haven't yet done South 2. Div South. Sorry, Div 2 South. We did say we'd do it on stream, but it's getting quite late now, so probably won't. I don't know. What do you think, Teb? Shall I try and go a run through now and show everyone how I work it?
How quick of a run through can you do?
No, not quick because they're mini leagues, so I've got to get all the scores out and everything.
Then you know what? Well, I'm sorry we haven't delivered on this promise. We'll do it because.
I'll do it. I'll try and get it done tonight and then get it posted.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll see. Do it now. Do people actually care if we do it now or not?
Yes, I know people do because they've been giving us. They've been giving me grief about it. So.
If people were happy with me doing it now, I'll do it now. Oh man, please,
I mean,
I've waited 2 hours.
Okay,
fine. Okay, that's cool.
Shut up, Rob.
When the Bucks draw a line, teams need prep and planning. Yeah. I don't know, Kieran, and I agree. I it's really tough, especially in our sport. With refs and fields and gameplay preparation, all of that stuff. I think it's really hard. I was hoping, and wanting them to release it today, it might get released at, I don't know, midnight or whatever. You know,
Wouldn't
I imagine
surprise me.
Those of you that are involved with teams will know before me. You know, all I do is just go into Bucks Play and hit refresh and try and see what the latest stuff is. That's all I do. So I don't have like insider information, but I do check with Bucks that I've got the right logic when I'm applying to these knockouts and everything. Copy it. Yeah, no, Steve Rains' version is in juxtaposition to mine. He's taken in league points when it comes to the playoff seedings, which to my knowledge shouldn't be the case. So his come out different to mine. One of us is right. We'll see. I'm fairly certain it's me. But yeah, I'll never forgive you for this, Seb. Right, no, we'll do it.
No, we're doing it, Rob. Rob, don't have a go at me, because I remember when you turned up to training in Lincoln and you didn't know it was cancelled, so you went to McDonald's and sent us pictures of you being sad eating at McDonald's. So don't say you don't mind waiting, all right?
Right, so for those of you that aren't interested in seeing how we work out Div 2 South, you can drop off with our thanks. It's been a good show tonight.
It has been a good show.
A really good amount of involvement. Quite a high number of people watching all the time, which is quite cool for us. So thank you very much. Anyway, right, here I go. So there are 3 divisions or 3 leagues in South 2. Southwestern 2, Southern 2, Southeastern 2. So let's start there.
It's time for some maths. Let's get into the maths.
Right, so first of all, we need to get the end of we need to make sure the league structures are finished, right? So we can see here Bournemouth are top with 10 points. It looks like all the games have been played. The way that I check that is I click on fixtures, and then I click on not played, and it tells it no fixtures. So that means all fixtures have been played. Cool. So we know that what we're looking at here, in the table, that's the final table. And there's fucking 3 teams on 6 points.
Oh,
so let me have a go at this. So
fucking bastards!
I told you, mate, this is a nightmare. But anyway, this mini league between these 3 teams will tell us who's second, third, and fourth. You can ignore where they've ended up here, and obviously you can ignore the points because the points have put them in a mini league. But Bournemouth, without a doubt, are the number 1. I'm going to write this down because otherwise, I'm
already writing it down.
Okay, so Bournemouth number 1. Bournemouth contend for seeds 1 to 3 from Southwestern 2. Right. What I'll do is
this is all for you, Rob.
I'll get my spreadsheet up that I've been using, and I'll try and get that. I'll see if it looks any good on screen for you.
Rob, I've always hated you. I want you to know that. So,
right, let me just go back to the logic. So remember, what we're looking at here is not a playoff. This is a league. Breakdown. So this is here, right? So use league points to define the final positions. Are there any teams tied on points? Yes. We now go into walkovers. So we need to see if any of these teams have conceded a walkover, right? So those 3 teams are, hold on, let me go back. UE, Solent, and Plymouth. So what I do here, filter, let's start with UE. It's likely that none of them have. So that was voided. Yep. So they haven't. UE, Solent didn't, and then Plymouth didn't. So we get past the first bit of logic, which is walkovers, right? So then going back here, sorry, I'll scroll all the way down again. It then says the tie still exists. Yes. How many teams are tied? If there were 2, then we would go to head, as I said before. There's not 2. There's 3 or more. So we compare average points conceded for each team across the season, excluding voids and walkovers. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my other screen, and I'll show you my workings out on this screen. I think that sort of makes sense. So,
do you want me to provide some hilarious commentary while you do maths?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, if you want.
So let's talk about Rob Smith. And basically, I said to him, "Oh, you bored? Do you want to come around and play Madden after he'd missed training?" And he then accused me of being weird because he's a coach. And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're younger than me, so it's fine." He then said that was very weird. And this is what we're doing it for. We did it for you, Rob Smith, and I guess anyone else who's doing South. But he just wants to find out who Oxford Brooks play. Who do you want them to play, Rob? How about that? And he's going to say someone like Lincoln or someone, but you can't. You can't, Rob. To be fair, OBU had quite a weird one because they were the team that got they had one of their games go to overtime, but games don't have overtime. So the draw was confirmed not probably a week and a half ago, something silly like that. But it's been a season of it's quite strange scores. Like I've seen a 0-0 between Hearts and Holloway. I think that's rather interesting, especially considering both teams are now in the playoffs. So let's say it comes down to them. I think it's going to be a very very interesting battle to see again defensively. But then you've got Portsmouth. Who aren't going to let that happen? Are you Portsmouth? If anyone from Portsmouth is still here. It's unbelievable. I didn't realise this. 1 hour 40 from Coventry to London, so it's not even that bad. Not even that bad. Never been to Egham. Never been.
It's just down the road from me.
Everything's. Why am I picking fights with teams that are close to you? I need to pick fights with Warwick or Coventry. Because then it's oh, you bastard. Oh, okay, I'll come to one of your games. Oh, 5 minutes down the road. Didn't get a parking ticket. Bless up Warwick Uni. Coming in hot, not giving me a parking ticket. It really is one of these things where, I think, I intend to try and get to as many playoff games as possible. Obviously, Birmingham versus Durham being on a Saturday makes it a lot simpler in terms of being able to see 2 over the weekend. But even that Prem game, I've discussed going with people outside of Gridiron Hub, but they've informed me that the viewing area at Nottingham for fans is not great. Now, I don't think that Nottingham are going to allow me a press pass because it's Uniball, and I don't think you get press passes in Uniball. If not, give me the first one. Give me the first press pass. I'll even wear a suit if you'd like. I'll even wear my NFL media badge. It's up there.
Right, I've got it. So this is Southern. This is how Southwestern 2 would end. Let me hold on. So it's they've all played 5 games, and actually in the order I put them in is the order, and I think that's the order that they've ended up in my league. So UE with 9.8 average points conceded are in first. Solent 14.6 are in second, and Plymouth, they take third place with 15.8. Oh no, sorry, it's not that they're playing for second, third, and fourth, aren't they?
Yes,
because first is Bournemouth. So UE are second, and Solent are third, and Plymouth are out of it. Okay,
that's interesting. Fair to the Bullets too. You win, but you win playoffs. We'll stop calling you the Pellets. How about that? That's some fuel for the fire for you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they're really motivated by that. So right, let me go back to this. Which I don't even need to go here, do I? I'm just telling you about the leagues. So Southwestern 2, let me just repeat. It's as you see it there. Bournemouth first, UE second, Solent third. Cool. Then we go to Southern. It's another fucking tie. Winchester, yeah. Okay, there is a game in hand, it looks like, potentially, but it doesn't matter. That won't impact the top 3. So Oxford Lancers number 1 in Southern 2. No, there's no question about it. They can't be displaced. Brighton and Oxford Brooks are both on 9 points. So this is where you do go to head. Because, actually, let's just see if either of them have conceded a walkover first.
Because I know what happened. I know who wins the head-to-head. Robert, wherever you are, there's the camera.
So Brighton won a head-to-head. They won a walkover. They won another walkover. They didn't concede one. And Oxford Brooks 1-1. Okay, so no conceded. So we do go head-to-head. So Oxford Brooks versus
Brighton won that one.
So 2014 there. That's it.
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on a second. Is there a Brighton versus Oxford Brooks? Wasn't the draw? Was it?
No, it's there. 2014. Oh yeah, it was. Shit. Yeah, so that's a draw. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're going even further into the.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So let's just follow this logic. What we did here, right? So use the number of walkovers conceded. There were none. How many teams are tied? There were 2. Compare head-to-head result. The team that has scored. Oh no, sorry. Head-to-head isn't. I didn't realise this because I've not got this far before. Head-to-head results is the team that scored the most total points across the season.
All right then. Who is
so
it?
If you could do another interlude while I figure that out.
Oh, sure. So you can see that this draw has caused big problems, and I think this goes back to the issue of referees. I think being media here is definitely exposed to the issue of there not being enough refs, and it really is what can be done about it. I think that the idea put forward by the Lincoln head coach of instead of having a team of 4, have a team of 2, and then use coaches from one coach from each sideline to help officiate would be probably the best way to go about it. Whether or not they do that, I don't work for Bucks. Bucks don't talk to me. Yeah, I'll tell you what though. There is a plan, not a scheming plan for me to go and do some more university, actually learn some things. So that who knows, come next season, I might be playing. For who? That's a good question. That is a good question, because I can tell you what, thanks to the programs not offered by the University of Lincoln, it won't be for Lincoln. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive. I won't tell you who because I need to get in first, and I'm hoping that this piece of paper up here will help me get in, because I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy to do things in life when you get a 3rd in your undergraduate degree, which is why I've got a master's degree. Literally the only reason why. That's not true. Well, the big reason why is because that piece of paper means that I get to interview, I get to talk to people like Tua Tagovailoa. Have you, viewer, spoken to Tua Tagovailoa? Have you? No, you haven't. I have. Have you spoken to Brian Flores? No. Have I? Yes. Did I cry?
You're a proper journalist. You're a proper journalist, mate.
Yeah. I'm a full-on journalism, and right, I'm telling you now. Did I make Christian Wilkins laugh? Yes, I did. There you go. That's all you need. Did I cry? Who knows? Maybe one day I'll tell you.
This seems awfully unfair.
Go on, tell me about it.
I'm going to double check because of that.
You see, Rob, you see what you do to this.
Total points. It says total points, not average. So, OBU have an advantage here because they played 5 games, and the Panthers 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, only played 4 because they had 2 walkovers that they won. So OBU finished 2nd and Brighton finished 3rd.
That's very interesting.
Can you write that down?
I have written it down.
I need to put all this into a thing.
There you go.
So nuts about it anyway.
So I got Oxford 1, OBU 2, Brighton 3.
And that's for Southern 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. So that's Southern 2 done. So let's go down to Southeastern 2. It's a fucking
Dude,
headache, isn't it?
the
Hopefully you
people,
guys are following along and still enjoying this.
the people who were watching, did you see Steve's little face light up when he realised he could go further into the? Yeah, that's fair enough, Rob. Did you see his little face light up when it was like, we get to go further into the logic chart?
Yeah, well, but then it threw me with the total points scored. I think that's a little bit unfair. It should be average points scored. Anyway, oh fuck me, we got another fucking tiebreaker again.
Oh, is it this league? I hate this league.
2.
I hate this league. Honestly, doing the rankings for this league has been an absolute pain in my bottom since I've been doing it because I sort of have to put Kent Falcons first, but you know.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. I counted total points scored, but I could get that. I know. Yeah, I could have got that from here, couldn't I? Let me just double check that.
What, did you add it up?
Yeah, I put it into a spreadsheet, but I didn't. I
okay.
needed to. I just want to make sure that my numbers came out the same. 74 and 107. No, they didn't. 107. How did they get 70? Oh no, because that's right. The extra score that they have taken away from them now. Fuck off. Where's it?
Oh, Rob, can you confirm that game with Brighton was the walkover one? No, sorry, the draw one, wasn't it?
It definitely is.
Okay.
I adjusted it.
That no is I just wasn't because I know they had one, but I wasn't sure how early or late it was into the OBU Panthers season.
Right, let's go Southeastern 2. Fucking two head-to-heads we got to kick off with.
What?
So, the first thing we need to check is walkovers. So let's do that.
I'm not even going to write until you've told me to write. Pardon me.
Walkover loss. What was the other one?
Kings.
No, walkover loss. Okay, cool. So now we go to, because there's 2 teams. Now we compare head-to-head results and the most points scored. So I should be able to see that from the table. And the most points scored was Kings. So Kings take first place. And they compete for the 1 to 3 seeds.
Yep.
Kent, second place. I'm sure that's going to piss off a load of people.
Oh yes, I'm sure it will. But
right.
you know.
And then for the third place, we've got Greenwich, Cambridge. So again, let's go and check.
Come on, Mariners. Actually, no. I only don't like Cambridge because no, I do like Cambridge. I don't know why I said I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, so no forfeits conceded. So we just go to point score. Oh my god, it's close. But Greenwich win it with 87 to Cambridge's 84.
Oh,
that's how close it was. So Kings first, Kent second, Greenwich third.
Yep, in Southeast 2.
In Southeast 2. Does the draw not change the league points? Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's right. Let me check it on. Where's... Oh, see, I thought they updated it.
Yeah, I thought they did as well.
I'm going to check it on our one because we definitely updated it.
Yeah, we definitely updated it.
Which league was that? Southern, wasn't it?
Yes, Southern 2.
Southern 2. The draw looks like it's there. I don't know if that's the right draw. Let me just check it on our one.
Oh, there's a lovely Gridiron Hub Facebook, not Facebook page, web page, ladies and gentlemen.
Seem to be gone.
You know, take pictures while you can.
Historic moment. It was 8 and 10 before. Okay, cool. Let's I just want to confirm because we definitely changed it. 9-9, yeah, which is the same here. Okay, cool. But yeah, good. Thanks for calling that out, Brian. We could have fucked it up then. But no, it is correct. So, we then go to. We need to do the top 3 rankings as mini leagues. So, Tebbs.
Yes.
Can you first tell me? Let's take that one. Let's go Southwestern 2.
Yep.
No, sorry. Yeah, who was number 1 in Southwestern 2?
Bournemouth.
This is South 2, 1 through 3. Oh, come on, man. We still got people. We still got 40 people watching. That really surprises me. Who were Southern 2 first?
Oxford Lancers.
See, I don't know why Bucks can't do it as quick as me.
It's because they've got like a supercomputer. We've just got you.
You've got me, yeah. And then who was first in Southeastern 2?
King's College. So King's, who I don't know what their name is.
KCL.
Regents. The Regents. Yeah. There you go.
I know them all, mate. I know them all. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you carry on talking while I. Oh, hold on. No, we're doing because I just want to sort of clarify my thinking there. I thought, I could just do total points scored, but it's not. It's average points conceded for your top 3 teams. Because we're now, before we were looking at an individual league ranking, now we're looking at a seeding comparing across different leagues. So, sorry, go on, Tebbs, over to you, mate, and your singing and dancing.
So one thing that I like, there's obviously going to be some articles coming up about the end of the seasons from me. I want to do one on, I'm going to do it like, so you're dropping down, and then we'll do that for Div 1 and Prem, which I'm sure I will get. I'll be very gracious in terms of the people who are dropping down, obviously. Well, will I? No, will we?
Shall I need you again?
Yep.
Southwestern. Oh, shit, I need to split these all out. I tried to do it the same way and it's wrong. Right, I need you properly. Okay. Let me just try and update. Go on, ignore me for a bit, and then I'll get you in a second.
But one thing that I wish we did do, well, I can still do it because Uniball is still prevalent. The best names, because I remember there was a they did a little ranking a while ago for senior ball teams for best logo. Now the thing is with Uniball is that there are so many teams that like definitely share. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like on Gridiron Hub. Sorry, I don't mean in general. When I mean content, I'm talking about for here because I don't get my content from anywhere else apart from Gridiron Hub. There's lots of teams that share the same name, or they sort of share the same sort of values. Like you've got, not to shit on OBU because Rob's watching, but there's a fair few Panthers. Just in the same way, there's a couple of Phoenixes. There's teams like the Colonials and the Legion, all sort of have like the gladiator theme. But in terms of them, there's something about. I do like just the subtlety of Oxford Lancers, just the O. This is very college ball in America. Obviously, I love you, Portsmouth, but I can't really give you any sort of points of creativity in your logo because it's just the University of Miami logo, but color switched, which is fine. Then there are teams that have obviously tried hard. I think the Royal Holloway Bears' logo very aesthetically pleasing, but also color waves because there's too much navy and gold. Because I remember Lincoln Clones vs Hull Sharks. They both wore the same color, all the same colorway, and it's gonna be more interesting this year when if they do varsity. If Lincoln do a big playoff run. Both teams will be playing in mainly gold. Unbelievable stuff.
Right, I need you when you're ready.
Yep.
So Southwestern 2.
Yeah.
Who were second?
UE Bullets 2s.
Right, UB. And third?
For Southwest 2?
Yeah.
Solent.
Red Hawks. And now I need to figure out fourth team as well. Which I'll do. Actually. Okay. Look, actually, can we just do the other one? So Southern, second place.
Oxford Brooks.
Third place is Brighton Panthers, right?
Yep.
And then fourth place, got to be UC Clan Rams. Okay, and then same for Southern 2. Who's second place?
Southeast 2.
Sorry, Southeastern 2. Yeah, it's Kent, isn't it? Kent Falcons.
Yes, Kent.
And then who's second? Third, sorry.
Greenwich Mariners.
Cool. Oh, fuck off. Okay, mate. Yeah, you can go and talk again now. I'll just figure this stuff out.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, like there's some that like I don't know. I just think more teams should really push the boat out. You know, playing pink. Obviously, I know that Rob will comment that the Panthers do play in pink, but well, push it out a bit. Push it out a bit. You know, we're an all white kit, unless you don't mind getting spray paint on it. But that's a different story for a different day. God, I'm trying to think of a Uniball story that don't involve me drinking heavily, but they all do, ladies and gentlemen. They all do. They all do. I definitely say that, like, you know, it is bad that, you know, a part of my reason to go back to uni to do a certain thing is part of it is based around football. You know, just because, you know, Uniball is a lot of fun. Uniball is a lot of fun. Also, you know, I'd like to get. I'm addicted to getting degrees, which, you know, I guess in terms of things that people can be addicted to, it's not that bad. So after I get this other piece of paper, I'll go and get a PhD. Well, I'll get a PhD from Lincoln. Anyone know how hard a PhD is? I think they're probably quite easy, right? I don't think they're that hard. You know, you're just writing 40,000 words. All I'll do is I'll activate the voice to text function on Microsoft Word, and I'll just talk it. I'll just talk it and add punctuation later. That's my plan. That's my plan. So let's. Like, I want to point out that at the start of the season, I said that the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl, and people said to me, "Chris, did you put a bet on it?" No, I didn't. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Do you think they're going to win next year? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to win next year. I've got a real strange feeling, ladies and gentlemen, and you're not going to believe me on this. I think the Dolphins might win the Super Bowl next year. Just saying. I'm not even joking about that. I've genuinely got the Dolphins down to win the Super Bowl next year. 20 quid on that. Odds aren't even that good, to be honest.
What would 20 quid get you?
I think it's something like 575. It's not great. And 20 is the max I can put on it as well. Otherwise, I'd put more on it. Like I'd say the most I've ever won on NFL betting was thankfully on my betting show that I did the previous NFL season, Ted Bet Tips. And that was a solid, I think I put in a tenner. It was for like Lamar Jackson to throw for a touchdown and rush for a touchdown. I think it was maybe like 20 quid in, about 120 back. I can't count the one lot. I can't count the Super Bowl because that was split over 2 bets. But Joe Mixon, you saved my life. You paid for my entire Super Bowl. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Worst part about the Super Bowl is that like the Bengals losing wasn't even the worst loss of the whole night. I was really good. I used to be quite good at beer pong, not anymore. And lineman. I consider myself quite clutch at it. Lineman from Lincoln called Daniel. We got down to 1 cup each, and he just sank it. He took a timeout. And he sank it. Now I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen. If you've played Uniball, do you have timeouts? I had to give it to him because we had a whole field of officials watching to make sure that everything was. I should have iced him. I should have taken my time out just as he was about to throw it. Looking back on it, that would have been the right call. But I was too many walkabout cocktails deep. £5 for a big jug. Unbelievable stuff. And my hangover wasn't even that bad. Had Taco Bell for the first time. That was good. They're chips. Unbelievable. Go and get some. Not right now. They're probably shut because it's late. But we're here doing Uniball maths. With supercomputer Steve. He's going at it.
Right, we got it.
Oh, do you want to?
Right,
I would do a drum.
So this
I would do a drum.
the top 3 seeds in. So seed 1 is Oxford Lancers. Seed 2 is Bournemouth Bobcats, and seed 3 is KCL. Yep. Can you write that down? Interesting. They only played 1 game each against the top
Oxford
3.
1, Bournemouth 2.
Yeah.
Right. So Oxford 1, Bournemouth 2, KCL 3.
Yeah. And I know Bournemouth would have worked themselves out as number 1, so I know that's going to be a contentious one. But I'm fairly sure of it. I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty confident. Right, so let me leave it with me. I need to figure out the rest of them, and it'll take me a few minutes because I need to figure out 4 and 6, and then 7 and 8.
No problem.
Can I just double check with you? Oh no, I fucking deleted them.
What's that?
I need to know. So who came? Is it UE Bullets came second in Southwestern?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. And then the Rams in Southern.
The Rams.
Yeah, UClan.
No, UClan are in the north.
Who the fuck have I put in there?
It's Southern. Whoever. Oxford Brooks came second in Southern 2.
Yeah, who the fuck did I put as UClan? It's probably UCL.
They're not in it either.
Let me just see. It is UCL. So they're the 4th team. So who's the... Oh, fuck, I've really fucked this up. Who's the second... Sorry. So let's go first. Who was the first team? Oxford Lancers, right?
Yes.
Who was second?
Oxford Brooks.
Okay. And then third, Panthers.
Brighton. Don't put Panthers because they'd be your Panthers.
Brighton
well.
Panthers. And then 4th is UCL, right? UCL...
I won't. Yeah, I won't lie to Steve. I didn't write down 4th. I'll do it now.
No, I need to write down 4th for this because this is when 4th comes into play. Because 4th are in the top 3 opponents.
Oh, okay.
Because you're either your first, second, or third, and the top 3 opponents can't include you, right? So, right, and then the same for Southeastern. Kent Falcons was second, right?
Yep.
And then
Greenwich Mariners.
Greenwich Mariners, and then Pythons were 4th.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, leave that with me. Hold on. Let me just do... I just want to do the table for 7 and 8 as well. And then I can just go away and figure it all out and then come back and say, this is the final answers. So, 3rd in Southwestern 2 was the Plymouth Blitz.
Solent Redhawks.
Shit. Okay. Redhawks, Bullets, Third in Southern 2, Brighton.
Yep.
And then third in Southeastern 2,
Greenwich Mariners.
Okay, cool. Leave it with me. I'll figure all that stuff out while people are watching.
This is sort of the breakdown part of the show where we do technical stuff, but it's important to people, so that's why we're here.
Yeah, I'm cool. I honestly don't mind doing it. While people are interested, like I said, there's still 40 people watching, which I'm really surprised about. So there's obviously a demand for it, and I honestly don't mind. I just thought it might be boring for you guys. So
to be fair, I'm interested. I'm interested in watching you do it, despite me talking nonsense. It's just sort of to provide some background.
Right,
so I would say.
3 games. Sorry, go on.
I would say to Rob, do you want to come on? But it's probably past his bedtime. He's probably a little tucked up in bed, aren't you, Rob? To be fair, I do need to go. It's a shame because when I was seeing my parents, Oxford had a Saturday game, but I didn't want to risk going down there and getting COVID and then going back up to my parents. So, which is a shame. But Rob, if you go far enough in the playoffs, if you win playoffs this week, I'll come down or up. I don't know where Oxford is compared, or I don't know where it is compared to where I am. We'd be south because I'm in Coventry. So I'll come to the second playoff game if you get there. There you go. I think that's fair. And he wanted me to pay for a ticket. Can you believe that? Fucking hell. Who do you think I am? Mr. Moneybags paying for a ticket to a Uniball game. I should have rocked up there with the fur coat. Like, do you know who I am? And the answer would be no, because no one knows who I am, apart from do you know what I find madness? I wrestled for 4 or 5 years. Especially in the Biggleswade area where I lived. Never once got recognised. I do this show for 5 months. Recognised twice. Unbelievable stuff. Don't deserve it. I might just get a shirt. I might start dressing up in business wear. I mean, I did wear a dress shirt to play in the Slate Cup.
You did.
For the sole reason of I couldn't be bothered to take it off. So the amount of people at the Super Bowl who came up to me and went, "Have you lost weight?" And I'm like, almost certainly not. Considering that the last time you saw me was 2 years ago, I think it's it was more so that me realizing that I think people's image of me in their heads is much fatter than I am now, which I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, to be completely honest. Or it could be the blonde hair. But that's what it came down to. I was like, especially one of them who saw me the week before, they're like, "Have you lost weight?" It's like, what, from last week? It to the point where they come up to me and ask me in private, like, "Is everything all right?" I'm like, "No, mate, I'm just dressed more sensibly. That's the reason why I look thinner." Oh, Christ, I've got stripes on, But yeah, if people are watching still interested, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl next year? How about that? And Rob, don't say the Jets, because it's not going to be the Jets, is it? It's not. Be realistic. But I might do an article on this later. The USFL, they're starting back up. Their draft is tomorrow, but they're doing the draft a bit, obviously, because it's the opening league draft. They're going quarterbacks in the first round, and then sort of positionals based on that, which is interesting. But obviously, it'll be interesting to see who's actually. I'm sure there's a roomiad of people who want to play football and can't. So I imagine they can have a lot to choose from. But even seeing the XFL with people like PJ Walker, I think they always look at it as an opportunity to get to the NFL. What is he? Carolina quarterback, third string Carolina quarterback. He started at least one game after Cam Newton was awful and I don't know what Sam Darnold did. Probably catch mono again.
Right, I'm ready.
Alleged. Okay, go on.
Okay. So, seed 4.
Yep.
Is the Kent Falcons.
Yep.
Seed 5 is the OBU Panthers.
Yep.
Seed 6 is the UE Bullets 2s.
Yep.
Seed 7, the Greenwich Mariners.
Yep.
And seed 8 are the Brighton Panthers. Seed 9, well, there's no seed 9, but out of it are the Solent Redhawks.
Okay.
So, should we do the matchups and see what the
Go on then.
fixtures
Go on.
are?
Let's finish this off.
Okay, so, and I'll do the graphic for this. If you send me the stuff, like send me these seedings, I'll do the graphic and update it. But so seed 1,
send you them or tell you them.
just tell me them now, but send me them after, and then I can do.
Oh graphic. Yes, okay, yeah, got it. So okay,
right. The first game is seed 1,
Oxford Lancers
versus seed 8,
Brighton Panthers.
Lance,
which is inter league.
That was a game. They just played that game.
Yes,
and the Lancers just won. Here we go. Look. Yeah, thanks, Liam. We'll see. I'm sticking by my logic, but yeah, I'm cool that people think I'm wrong. We'll see. And then at least I've got it corrected for good after that, but I'm fairly certain that this is right. Right, seed 4.
Kent Falcons.
And seed 5 versus seed 5.
Oxford Brooks.
Kent versus Oxford Brooks. Close game. Are you taking anyone on that? Can you call it?
I'm only going to take
Oxford Brooks. I think
I'm going to take Oxford Brooks just because I want them to have a game after this weekend, so I can go down and shout at Rob. So I'm going to go with Oxford Brooks solely, but on me wanting to go and shout at him.
Oh my god! Look, people are going in the comments, fucking telling me stuff. So, Reg 837331. Hold on, let me just see because people. This is the stuff I was expecting. So I think someone sent me that one earlier today. Give me a second. I don't know off the top of my head, but I do recognise them all from around, like the numbers for them. And I'll explain to you why once I see it. There's a chat with a guy today that asked me. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he asked me about a different one. Greg, can you post that reg in the chat for me, and I'll come back to it. And then Falcons had a head-to-head over the Kings, so can't be below second seed. Kent beat Kate. Yeah, I don't know why you guys are talking about head-to-heads. If you're talking about the games, head-to-heads are based on total points scored in the league, and that's for league ranking. And then it goes average points conceded in the playoffs. The result between teams will be the determining factor in placing one team over the other. The fixtures are where home and away, the aggregate score 2 or more. Yeah, Greg, I'm fairly sure that that's league rather than playoff. And I don't mind actually. Let me just check it because I can go on Bucks's.
I'll tell you what, Steve. If you have to redo it all, I'm not staying in.
I won't have to redo it. I don't care. I told you, this is what I'm going with. My logic set, and we'll find out. And I know that sort of doesn't sound very definite for some people, but I'm cool with that. Right. So hold on. 8-3-7-3-1. Ties between two teams, and that's in the league, not in the playoffs. So that's why. Kent are number 1 in the league, but below KCL in the playoffs. Yeah, Greg, I just explained all of this. Have you just turned on, or have you just started paying attention? I don't I don't mind going through it, but I have gone on through every single justification. It's based on mini leagues, which look at average points conceded against the top 3 teams they played. If you're looking at the playoffs. Kent are number 1 in the league. Let's have a look at what he's talking about. Kent are number 1 in the league. Kent have got to be southeastern, right?
I'll be able to tell you in a second. Yes, they are.
Let's just get this up. Yeah, so they're not. So they're head-to-head, they lose against King's College. So they end up 2 in the league. And Kent are second, KCL end up first. That's what I figured out. And the logic, and if you want to read up on the logic, Kent beat KCL. Yeah, so head-to-head isn't fixtures. Head-to-head is the most points scored ranks higher. That's what head-to-head is, which is, I made this diagram, probably a little bit fuzzy, but there. So if there are 2 teams tied, which is here, this is still league, right? Which is what we were. Compare the head-to-head results between the 2 teams. The team that scored the most points, the most total points will rank higher. So the head-to-head isn't like the games that they played against each other. The head-to-head is the overall score, offensive performance for the season. And that's how they lost the head-to-head. I said, didn't I say when I pulled that one up, Tebbs, that they would...
Yeah, you did say.
Would talk about it. Anyway, all right, back to... so we've got... Yeah, so we said OBU versus Kent, right?
Yep.
So I said OBU. Who do you think is going to win that one?
I want OBU to win just because if they win, then that means I can have a I can go to the second playoff game for OBU and shout at Rob. So that's why I'd like OBU to win.
Cool.
But in terms of football, probably OBU.
And then right, seed 2,
Bournemouth
against seed 7,
Greenwich.
Oh mate, I was talking to Coach Rains about this over the last week. I think Greenwich are a dark horse.
Yeah, but against Bournemouth,
I think Bournemouth are brilliant.
From his Bournemouth round the table, that's the
most screen time Div 2 has ever got. Yeah. Mate, I'm gonna go with Bournemouth, but I think Greenwich are like this is no pushover of a game. This is a tough game. Bournemouth versus Greenwich. Who have you got?
I've got Bournemouth. I can't really deny the Bournemouth running the table. Can't really deny that.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one, C3.
C3, KCL
versus 6.
UE Bullets 2.
Oh, another one that's hard to call.
I haven't got a clue.
I'll go KCL.
I'm gonna go with the Bullets
KCL,
then.
But I could see that.
I'll go.
And that's, do you know what? I'm basing that off of the fact that the Bullets lost to Plymouth yesterday.
That's fair.
But yeah, cool. Right, yeah. So that's hopefully, I know there's people that's like Liam who doesn't agree, and Greg probably still doesn't with me. But hopefully, I've sort of explained my logic behind it. I created this flowchart and this understanding from the Bucks regs. So I've read through it all, and also I'm in good contact with one of the commissioners there, the fixtures commissioner. And over the years, he sort of corrected me on my knowledge and stuff. So I'm fairly sure that I've got it right. I'm cool if it's not. I'll get over it. Sorry if you guys have covered this. Can you tell me who UClan? Where did we get? Yeah, no worries, Sam. Where did we put UClan?
Oh, that's a good
That's
question.
up here, isn't it?
Yes, they're 1, I think. I think their div's too tight to call, no?
Yeah, I think your div 1. Hold on. No, it's still there. Exeter, no.
Pardon me.
Well, no, where are you, Clan? It can't be Div 1. It must be Div 2. Div 2 North. Yeah, cheers, Sam.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can't figure it out yet, Sam. But they're contending for so they're definitely contending for seed 7 or 8, but we can't figure it out. And the reason it can't be figured out is because there's 2 pending games in Borders 2. which change everything. Cool. Grant's got you 7th. Must be a prediction worked into there, Grant, because like voids or whatever, because you can't work it out mathematically at the moment. Impossible. So that's cool. And then David has said thanks for the seeds and stuff too. No worries. You can see, like, I try to put them together quick, man. Like normally I'm sort of, I take my time. I do screenshots. I check the knowledge. I write up. It takes a long time to do this stuff, but yeah, all good. I've got to go because my missus is doing a nut. She wants me to take over holding the baby. She can get some sleep. So, are you sure who's promoted into Southeastern 2? Southeastern 2, yeah. So that's flipped. It's KCL, not Kent. That's what I think. And I hope Bucks either confirm or deny that as soon as possible, because people are just going to ask me questions again and again. But I've shared my logic. I'm happy to answer any questions as well, guys. Like, message Gridiron Hub and I'll pick it up. I've got not much to do at the moment because I'm off work for 2 weeks because my baby's just been born. So I'll pick it up throughout the day. But the best thing to do really, guys, is, wait for Bucks. But I'm fairly confident of it. And I hope that if I am bang on, that I then considered like a Uniball god. And yeah, cool. Right, Tebbs, you got anything to say in closing, mate?
Just goodbye. Enjoy the playoffs. Hopefully it all gets sorted. Come on, Bucks. Sort it out for the boys. And I will see you on Sunday, Portsmouth. Right. Hopefully in Royal Holloway, so I don't end up in the wrong place. But I will see you there. And we will see you next Monday for playoff rundown. Thank you all for saying thank you. Very good.
Guys. A pleasure. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.